Good afternoon and welcome to the Pacific Hockey League Round 4 Game 2 here at the Ice HQ Ice Rink in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia, where we are watching the rematch between the Melbourne Ducks and the Brisbane Rampage. I'm Carl Brewer, and with me as usual is Anton Goss, and we're turning up the heat today. Melbourne outside's cold, wet and miserable, but in the ice rink it might be cold, but it's going to heat up pretty soon. We're expecting a torrid tussle between these two teams. Yesterday's game stunned the Ducks. They'd been unbeaten so far and were happily sitting on top of the Pacific ladder. But from the drop of the puck, the Rampage brought the heat all the way down from Queensland with them. In short time, the stunned Ducks were down a goal. Anderson swooping on a loose puck after a shot from McTavish had scored in the first 2 minutes. Shortly followed by Sobchak, who was assisted by Connor just 90 seconds later. Brisbane's Adler earned himself a soft 2 minutes after a pretty interesting check on Ryan Ruddle, and the Ducks with a chance to get back on track with the power play. It wasn't to be though. McTaggart finished a steal by Sobchak after the first face-off of that power play, and the Rampage were up 3-0 halfway through the first period with a short-handed goal. This stunned the Ducks, and the crowd here was silent and not happy, you might say. The Ducks caught up and managed to contain Sobchak through the rest of the period, but although they went goal for goal in the second, they couldn't get anything through the Rampage defence, and all ended up finally with a score yesterday of 5-2 to the Rampage winning it with a with an empty netted goal right at the very finish. It was a huge game by the Brisbane goaltender Novitsak, I think I've pronounced that correctly, who ended up with 57 saves, which is a huge day for him. Dane Davis for the Ducks did pretty well with 34 from 38, but it was that first 10 minutes of the game that the Ducks never really got a chance to recover from once the Rampage got contained, and it ended up then being a bit of a slogfest with a lot of opportunities, but not much puck actually making it through the pipe. The Ducks are found lacking in attack around the net on a lot of occasions where they'd have solo drives with not much in the way of support. There's so much back-checking involved in containing Sobchak and McTavish, who played superb games for the Rampage. Every time Sobchak got possession, he threatened to score. He managed to find space and time where there just wasn't any brilliant hands. I think you'd agree with me there, Gossie. He was just incredible to watch. And he kept the Ducks constantly on edge with their defence. They never really got a chance to relax and get their game sorted, and you could see it all the way through.
I think to that one there, Carl, I think that's what the Ducks are going to have an answer for, is Sobchak and McTaggart, their ability. We talked about it many times on the broadcast yesterday, being able to get the puck from the half wall and just twist and turn and maneuver their way into that slot and kind of get those pucks through traffic and on net. And
it's a very European style of play too, that get into tight spaces and find a lot of room, I think, and Sobchak did that particularly well. The Ducks today welcome back Hector Vrilnek after his suspension, which is going to make a big difference, and it'll put some more sparkle into the game. But in some late breaking news we only got in the last half hour, Hayden Dawes is a scratching after a collision during yesterday's game with Adler, and that's going to make things a little bit interesting for the Ducks. And also Troy Robinson, who had a blinder yesterday for the Ducks, involved in 2 of their goals and with some really good consistent shots. He's out as well for the Ducks. No changes to the lineup for the Rampage, but also welcoming back to the Ducks today Byron Schumer, who will bring some creativity in attack as a player who is much underestimated, but he's a very, very effective attacking forward, and we'll see some very good play from him. Not sure yet if the Rampage are going to play the same goaltender or swap them around. We won't find out till the drop of the puck, but overnight certainly Pat McMahon, the coach of the Ducks, had a lot to think about in terms of how's he going to structure today to get the Ducks back on top. Anton, what do the Ducks need to do to change the result?
Yeah, look, I mean, you mentioned the ins for the Ducks, and Hector, none bigger than Hector Vrilnek. I mean, when Berkey went down in that first weekend of play, Hector really stood up, and he got a hat trick in that first game against Brisbane, the overtime win up there in Queensland, and then he's been sitting the last 3, so he'll be a big in through the middle. Byron Tashuma as well. He's a real hard-working player out there. He's always hustling, gets into those dirty areas. They're going to need that on the forecheck if they're going to really put some added pressure here onto the Rampage. But with those 2 ins, I mean, yesterday the 2 best Ducks players had to be Dawes and Robertson, right? Robertson, first game, came in. He was the only Duck really able to get those shots through traffic from the point. And, Dawes, as he often does, was able to put the puck in the net, and with his 2 goals, actually tied up with McTaggart for the league lead so far here early in the Pacific League, sorry. So big outs. I think Pat McMahon and the Ducks, they have the power and firepower to be able to put the puck in the net. But with those outs, they are going to be playing a little short-handed tonight with only 4D on the back end. So they're really going to have to look at ways to contain the speed of McTaggart and Sobchak. And I think we'll have to see a really big game from Ryan Bennett, who'll be shut down there with McMahon. And we saw him exchanging a few words with some of the Rampage players here during the warm-ups.
Expect this game to get a little feisty at some point. I think the Ducks are quite upset about the incident that occurred between Adler and Dawes. And if you watch the video, you'll see why. And so, as we were just discussing earlier, the Ducks need to be very careful not to get too obsessed with any sort of retribution, because as soon as they do that, of course, they're not thinking about playing hockey anymore. And if you want to win a game, you've got to think about playing hockey, not necessarily about settling scores.
Well, I know as well, I mean, obviously us being from Melbourne, watching our Ducks, we're always heavy talking on what the Ducks need to do to win. But I think if you look at what the Rampage did yesterday, coach would just be saying to them, hey,
same again.
Yep, and you know what? We talked about some of their import players, the guys like Sobchak, the guys like McTaggart, who were able to twist and turn and make something out of nothing. But really, it was a team effort. We spoke about Novi Sedlak making 57 saves. Yeah, there was a lot of shots that came through, but the Rampage did an amazing job of boxing the Ducks out. They said you can come in and take the territory, but you're going to have to shoot from the half wall. You're going to have to shoot from the point. You're going to have to get through 4 or 5 of our players. And when Novi Sedlak makes that first save, Brisbane was the first team to get a stick on the puck and be able to clear it out.
There certainly wasn't much in the way of rebounds there, and the Rampage did a superb job. Their defence a whole time stood up, and they never really looked all that threatened. And it's one of the things, if you haven't played much contact hockey, one of the big differences is not so much the sort of mid-ice stuff, which is the things that make the highlight reels. It's the pressure that gets put onto a defensive player by an aggressive forecheck from a fast-moving winger in particular. So if a defensive player has to go back and dig the puck out and they're not scared a little bit, then they've got more time. And scared's maybe not the right word to use, but there should certainly be a bit of apprehension. If I'm going back to get the puck in the corner, I have to expect that a forward is going to come through and make contact with me. I'm going to know about it. And there wasn't enough of that yesterday from the Ducks, and there was plenty of that from the Rampage. The Rampage, all of their lines did that particularly well, and the Ducks just weren't matching it. They got more shots on,
and it allowed that backup, and it allowed some of that stretch pass that we talked about. The number of times, back in their own zone, they were able to collect it and find that pass into the neutral zone. I think just talking on the forecheck, I know you and I both, coach some beginner hockey here in Melbourne. So, I know we chat about it a lot. But with that forecheck, for those listening at home, you don't always have to win the puck, right? It's about forcing the other team to not make a play, and that's still a win, right? That's still a win. If they have to rim it around the boards or something like that, that's still a win, right?
Disrupt the breakout, disrupt the stretch pass, those sorts of things, absolutely. Exactly. And it's all about pressure. Decisions made under pressure, and if you're not under pressure, you can make good decisions. And again, this is what we teach our juniors when we're teaching our adult beginners and so forth, when they're learning to play hockey, and all right the way through to elite level. Decisions made under pressure. I mean, we sit here and we can watch it on a replay and that sort of stuff, and we've got time to analyse it and slow it all down and say, oh, that was dumb, you should have done this. But then you look at it at real time. And you think, exactly. That happens so quickly. And if it's that real high pressure game that the Rampage really brought to the Ducks yesterday, and they did it superbly well. And the shot count, I don't think, look, in the second period it was a much more even contest, but in the first period it really was all Rampage, and the Ducks were just constantly flooded under pressure, and their defence never really looked settled enough to get a good breakout.
But, here we are, the number 1 versus number 2, like it was yesterday. Both teams highest scoring in the division. They each have 35 goals, averaging 5 goals a game. So we know they can both score. Ducks just edging out the Rampage slightly on the goals against. But tonight, it's 17 points against 16. So a loss by the Ducks to the Rampage would move the Rampage up to the top of the ladder. So there's a lot to play for today. The Ducks, they won't want to lose back-to-back here at their own barn. And I think they've got a point to prove against this high-flying Rampage team. Well, that's absolutely correct, Gossie, and you always want to win at home. I mean, not that you don't want to win when you're away, but a home win is a really important thing. You're here in front of your fans. The last thing you want to be doing is at the end of the game with your fans all leaving with dejected faces, because they might not come back next week. So it's not just about the individual team, it's also about the fate of the league. We want the Pacific to be successful, and for that to happen, we need home games to be mostly won by the local teams. Not always, of course. And look, yesterday adds some spice to it from that perspective, because now there's a bit more pressure on the Ducks to win this one. And the Rampage, they're on fire. They have come here. They've got a really good team. Perhaps a little bit underrated at first, but it's full of stars. There's not a player in that team who hasn't been a national level representative at some point or other. And their imports have slotted in really well. So they're a really well balanced, structured team.
well coached.
Yeah.
And look,
and they've got some big guys, like Harley Anderson, number 20. I mean, if you don't realize he's their captain, you don't realize how tall he is, right?
Yep.
So you got these big guys, him like Anderson, you got like Barnes going into the corners. You got to have the body, but then you got these guys like Sobchak and McTaggart who are small, low center of gravity, able to twist and turn. It's got to keep you viewing,
exactly.
right?
Their agility is incredible.
Keep you checking on what's going on. So a lot on the line today. I think Ducks without Robertson tonight, they're going to be relying on this guy right here in front of us, Carpenter. He's leading the team in assists right now with 11. He's got 11 assists so far here in the 7 games. And they'll need him to get a few shots in through the point if they're going to replace Robertson's game from yesterday.
We're just about to get the anthem, so we'll be quiet for that. It's hockey afternoon in Reservoir, the Ice HQ ice rink. We're just about to get things underway. Interestingly, the Ducks have started off with Lau and Carpenter in defence as they're starting up line-up. Michael McMahon, the captain, sitting out the first shift. And Vrolnik, Cutter, and who have we got there?
We got Dixon, Liam, and Cutter.
Yeah,
Cutter out there.
Rampage starting off with exactly what we would expect.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting as well with the lineup. They've moved Cutter out to the wing tonight, so he normally plays center. But with Hector coming back in, they've pushed Cutter out there. But he's a hard-nosed forecheck.
And that's what they need.
Yeah, and this line was so dangerous yesterday for the Rampage. Probably didn't get too much on the score sheet, but it was a great game by Smith as well. Always in the right opportunities, giving Sobchak someone to pass to. So we're underway. So Carpenter over to the defender for Leo and the Ducks, who sends out wide for Webster to collect, but just off his stick, allowing the Rampage to clear that out, but only as far as the Ducks defense. So Webster moves it up to Cutter. Cutter now looking to chip it through, but it hits the shin guard of Sobchak, who just lost it for a moment, allowing Dixon to collect and corral it to his defender. So here come the Ducks. Pass up, Webster chips that through. Cutter's going to get there first. Cutter takes it behind the net. He's got it on his backhand, looking to pass it in front to Webster, but just misses on that pass. Webster now gets it back to the point for Carpenter, who gets a shot through, deflected. That just went high and wide. Cutter gets there with Adler. Adler gets it only as far as the point, allowing McMahon to chip that behind the net. So here comes the Brisbane Rampage through Connor. He gets it over the blue line, but he's getting hassled by Dixon, forcing him to send the puck deep for McMahon to collect. Connor will chase that dump in himself and try to lay the body of McMahon, but McMahon was just able to evade it, allowing Carpenter to collect that and send it up to Vrolnik. So with Vrolnik just touching that, icing's weighed off. This is the first play for Vrolnik back from his 3-game suspension. He wins the puck, but Ruddle then lost it over to Anderson. So a little misplay there by Bennett, allows Barnes to collect it. He squeezes through, but ends up falling down. So McMahon now corralling the puck, getting it up to Ruddle, who chips it through to Gallagher. So here comes Logan Gallagher, pass over to Vrolnik. Nice job there, done by the Brisbane defender. But Vrolnik now with the puck, he's got on the backhand, sends it for Ruddle. Shot on, but a save there by Novi Sedlak.
So straight away, we're seeing a very different game to the first minute and a half that we saw yesterday. First minute and a half yesterday, it was all Sobchak and all of the Rampage. But this one, that was all Ducks. Looking a lot more settled. And a much better play for them. I think Pat McMahon's given a good rev up, and they were slow this time yesterday, and they were slow first up against the Avalanche. But this is a better show so far.
There we go. So we got Liam in between Tashuma and Koenig, who play with each other as well in the beer league and with the Reservoir Dogs. So good, chemistry between those two. We'll see what transpires. So Webster now sends it back for Tashuma in front of Koenig. And just misses it, allowing the Rampage to collect through Santilli. Here comes Speck, who dumped the puck down, but he just wasn't able to get past the red line, and that will get whistled down for an icing.
So, again, some good pressure there from the Ducks winning those face-offs too. That was a nice positive win from the opening face-off, which allowed good control. I do love seeing Jackie Carpenter when he gets back. He's always got a big grin on his face. He just loves playing this game.
Yeah, I think, Webster had a great game in the face-off dot yesterday, and he's continued that so far early in the first. So another face-off win, gets it back to Stringer, who takes a shot, rebound, squirts out into the neutral zone, and Stringer, who's back into his normal position of defense today, collects the puck. That was chipped there to Shuma, who looked for Webster, but just out of the reach, allowing Brisbane to dump that deep, and covered up by Dane with a little awkward bounce off the back wall.
Good safe play there. Good to see Brian Schumer getting on nice and early as well. He was underplayed possibly a little bit in the games against the Avalanche, but he's not going to be underplayed today. I think he's going to get lots of ice time, and we'll see a lot of creativity from him.
Yeah, definitely. So here's Hector facing off against Josh Anderson. Officials just having a quick chat, and they're ready to drop the puck. So here we go. Face off to the left of Dane Davis. So face off won by the Rampage. Sobchak chips that deep for Smith to collect. Smith battling with Stringer, and Stringer able to poke that through so for Hector to collect. So Hector Vrelnik behind his own net passes it over to Carpenter. Carpenter cross ice pass for Cutter, but just out of the reach, allowing Adler to go back and collect. Poke check there by Sobchak Novi Sedlak over to Adler, and the puck gets pinned up here on the point. So here's Carpenter with a shot. Blocker save there by Novi Sedlak. Hector Vrelnik leaves the puck there for Stringer, who gets the puck taken off his stick by Sobchak. So here comes Sobchak with speed over the blue line, protects it, pass it in front, pucks into the slot. Connor, but a great job by Cutter. Adler now with a shot, blocked there by Dixon, and that was a great little stick check there by Cutter, who was able to...
Sobchak can be when he gets those breaks with speed.
That's for sure, and that was a real smart play, right? He's looking for a pass into the slot, but doesn't see one, so throws it right onto the stick of Dane Davis, who was forced to make that save. And if it weren't for Cutter lifting the stick of Connor there, could have been another early Rampage goal.
Yep, but this time the Ducks were alert to it. But you can see every time Sobchak gets anywhere near it, there's just that danger, and you've got to really cut it off early.
That's for sure. So here's McMahon, the captain. He passes that from the backhand over to Gallagher. Nice job by Anderson, able to collect that from Gallagher to make the move. But Gallagher wins the puck. He's over the blue line, pass it to Ruddle, who sends it down. Shot by Webster. But that just goes wide. Webster tried to set it in front, but Novi Sedlak was to the task. Now Cutter sends it over to Gallagher. Gallagher across for Webster, but out of his reach, allowing Jones for the Rampage to collect. So Jones battling with Webster. Webster comes out with it in the front to Gallagher, to Cutter. And another save by Novi Sedlak. So a couple grade A scoring chances for the Ducks, but they're not able to solve Novi Sedlak. And here comes the Rampage through McTaggart. So McTaggart just stops there on the half wall, looked across over for Jones, but Gallagher sends that deep in the corner for Leo to collect. This is pinned now here for the Rampage, and Leo drills over Anderson. And this allows Gallagher to come in and cross the blue line. Shot, blocked there by the Rampage defender, and Gallagher will send that deep and peel off for a change.
Yeah, that was Ruddle making that big check on the boards. Big hit, and he needed to do it too. It's been all Ducks so far with 7 shots on in the first 4 minutes.
So here's Anderson now, collects it and shoots the puck high off the glass and into the netting. And we'll have a face-off in the defensive zone for the Brisbane Rampage.
Well, this is a different game today, Antoine.
Yeah, here's that play that we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
That play just to throw it on net, right? As a goalie, look, Dane has no choice but to send that out in front, but Cutter did a really good job of blocking that.
Ducks also back there in numbers this time, and that's what they need to be.
So here's Dixon now, sends it through the crease, but there was no Duck there to tap it in. So reverse back to Dixon now, coming out from behind the net. He curls, nice job to stay away from Bale, and sends that back for Cutter. Cutter now with it on the forehand, gets laid out by Bale, but puck comes through for Vrelnik in the far corner. Vrelnik looking in front. Dixon chops it. Carpenter shot through. And what a glove save by Novi Sedlak, who was forced to reach out there and snare that out of the air.
Carpenter's big shot there from the point, lined it up well. It was a beautiful shot in. This is a very different game so far, but again, every time the Ducks can't afford to get complacent, every time the Rampage do get those quick possessions, they move so fast.
So here's Carpenter now looking for Ruddle. Or for Cutter, sorry. Cutter will collect it in the far corner now. Curls, walks through to the slot, drops it for Bennett, who'll take a slapper, but fans on it. This will allow Connor for the Rampage to collect, and he'll exit the zone. So Connor now for the Rampage over the red line. He dumps that into the corner and curls back. Bennett for the Ducks collects now, whips it around the corner, but Bale was there for the Rampage. Just mishandles it, allowing Webster to collect. Webster's 1-on-3. He's got Carpenter coming in with him, so he stops, sends it over to Carpenter, but a great stick there by Bale to negate Carpenter's Carpenter being able to collect it. So Carpenter deep into the zone now, pinching. He's got it behind the Rampage net. He's got on the forehand, looking for Ruddle. Puck squirts, and Novi Sedlak puts the glove blocker down and covers that up.
I have heard, Anton, there's a drinking game going on for people watching the commentary every time the word squirt is mentioned. Not to make you self-conscious or anything.
Yeah. There's always one every game.
There's always one every game, absolutely.
Squirt this game. What was the one yesterday? There was Corrals collects the puck. I think I said that a million times yesterday.
It's all good. We'll maintain our senses of humour, that's for sure. But a good little stanza there. Good opportunities on the net. Lots of shots coming. Ducks up to 9 shots on the net so far. That'll be 10 in the first 5 minutes of the game.
So Webster's battling behind the net. Gallagher goes in to collect it. Gallagher is going to look to pass that up to the point, but he's being checked by 2 Rampage. The Ducks still with the puck, though, but now finally Sobchak will collect and take that behind the net. So here's Sobchak for the Rampage now. He looks for a pass, looking for his teammate in Anderson, who just wasn't able to collect it, and allowing the McMahon for the Ducks to select that and send it over to Stringer. He looks for Gallagher, intercepted by Sobchak. Sobchak, danger, shot, save, rebound, pass in front, but Gallagher lifts the stick of Smith and stops what would have been a great opportunity out of gaping cage. So here's McMahon now. Ducks doing a great job of defending and forechecking and having that back check by the forwards, and that's been very apparent. Novi Sedlak nearly has a tumble there, but leaves it for Jones, who sends it up to Vrelnik. He's got Dixon. Vrelnik, though, still with it. Looks in front, pass, shot, and that just goes into the corner. Vrelnik will collect his own rebound now. He's got it in the far corner. He cuts into the middle, winds, but a great stick by Anderson. Backhand now, shot, scores! There we go! Ryan Ruddle on the rebound after Hector Vrelnik walked the puck out of the corner. The Ducks are on the board first. 1-0 here at Ice HQ.
We'll just watch that on the replay. You can see it's those dirty goals in the front. You get the shot on, you get the rebound, and all those adult beginners that we work with, see, we tell them crash the net, and that's why. It's a great initial save, but the puck bobbles around, and all you got to do then is just find a hole and shove it through, and there it goes. So Ducks up 1, and it's following the score. 10 shots for a goal, but every time Sobchak gets it. But you've got to watch out the Rampage's big wingers are certainly starting to punish the Ducks D. See how they pull up after that.
Well, Vrelnik's back, baby. The Frenchman, he's on the score sheet in his first game back after the suspension with an assist on that beautiful goal by Ruddle. But here come the Rampage. Drop pass here for Anderson, who just missed it, allowing Dixon to collect it. And pinch there by Carpenter to forcing the Rampage to dump it behind for Leo. So Leo now sends it over to Carpenter, who gets hit by Anderson, but the puck comes out there for Cutter. So here's Cutter, who stops back. He's got Carpenter now, and he'll find him. Carpenter for the Ducks in the neutral zone, skating in, and he'll dump that in, allowing his teammate Cutter to give chase. But here come the Rampage through Anderson, sending it up to McTaggart. McTaggart over to Barnes. Barnes shot. And a great save there by Davis to deflect that into the netting.
I've got to say, that pass there by McTaggart to Barnes is one of the crispest tape-to-tape passes you're ever going to see. I don't know if we can get that on a replay or not, but that was a magnificent pass. Just watch this one if you can see it. Wind it back yourselves if we can't present it for you. But one of the nicest passes you'll see there across ice.
That's for sure. So here we go. Face off to the left of Dane Davis. Face off won by the Ducks in Vrelnik. And there's McMahon, who battles that puck and gets it out to Ruddle. So here comes Koenig. Koenig for the Ducks. 1-on-2. Takes a shot. Deflected off the defender and Bertassa into the corner. But Koenig picks up his own rebound. He still has it. He'll send it to the point of McMahon, who takes a shot in. Deflected by Bennett. And McMahon still able to keep that puck in. So some great pressure here by the Ducks. Koenig shot, but that just goes wide. Ducks will get that through Santilli. Rampage, and that'll send that down the length of the ice. Just not enough, or just enough for icing.
Just in time.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure about the rule, and we were corrected on this ourselves just a couple of weeks ago by Craig Armstrong-Frey, who was reminding us of the rule because we got it wrong too. It's not a race to the face-off circle. The way the rule is done is the linesman has to interpret who he thinks is going to get to the puck first and must make the decision by the time they get to the face-off dot. So it's a bit of a judgment call. In that case, the whistle was blown for icing.
So here we go, Vrelnik facing off against Bale. Vrelnik wins it back to Bennett. Bennett tries to find one through, off the pads there of Novi Sedlak, but cleared by the Brisbane defender. Only as far as McMahon will send that behind the net. Vrelnik will battle there against Bertassa, and Vrelnik looks like he'll be able to come out with the puck. But the puck's still there now, up on the half wall. Vrelnik will curls, sends that back deep. and the puck now finally squirts out for Speck. So here's Speck, who sends it over to Bertossa, but a nice poke check there by McMahon, who looks to send that deep, but isn't able to clear it. McMahon still with the puck, though, gets it to Ruddle, but a great job by the Rampage through Speck to just negate the Ducks being able to get that puck down deep, and they'll go for a change. So Brisbane Rampage are now getting their big line out. Subchecks out there with Josh Anderson and Smith, but here comes Stringer. Stringer sends the puck over to Webster. Webster across the cutter, shot by Cutter, but that just goes wide. Here comes Sobchak, who collected that out of the slot, and we've got 3 Rampage. Sobchak sends it over to Smith, and the shot, that was going top shelf if it weren't for the block and arm of Dane Davis. What a save by the Ducks goalie.
That was a game-winning save there by Davis.
That's for sure. So Sobchak collects the puck after Carpenter drops his stick. He's twisting and turning, but 2 Ducks able to win the puck, and that's Dixon, who's able to get that puck just over the blue line. So here's Connor for the Rampage, sends it up to Smith, who's just stopped on that great opportunity, and he gets that puck deep. Cutter now for the Ducks, circles, and the Ducks are just going to regroup and allow their forwards to get a little bit of a breakout going. So here comes Stringer, who loves to skate with it. He's a big body, takes it into the corner, but stopped there by the Rampage on the half wall. With a battling deep now is the Ducks. Webster's going to get there first. He's going to send that down to Dixon, who finds McMahon in the slot shot. Blocked there by Connor. But Leo collects that rebound, sending it deep for Cutter. Cutter now being hit hard there by Connor, and Dixon supports him, who also gets laid out on the wall. So Ducks are getting some great sustained pressure so far early in this game. They've been much more offensive opportunities. Vrelnik gets it back, shot, a little bouncer, just goes wide. Novi Sedlak had that covered. And the Ducks finally, or the Rampage finally have the puck clear out of the zone, and that's that save. Look at that.
Absolutely. That was
what a save by Davis.
A blocker for the ages, that one. That's a highlight reel save for sure. It's very interesting to see the contrast in the first 15 minutes of this game compared to yesterday. It's a different Ducks and it's a different Rampage. The Rampage just look a little bit slower on their feet. They're not quite moving as crisply. They've had some really nice passes, but their big guys are a little bit slower than they were yesterday. It might be one of the consequences of playing 2 games in a row away from home. It does add up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's Ruddle with a shot. Scores! There you go! The Ducks with a face-off win and a shot through traffic. Ryan Ruddle with his 2nd goal of the game to put the Ducks up 2-0.
Well, Ruddle did have a party in the second game last time the Rampage played as well. He ended up with 5 points, including a hat-trick, and he's on his way to that now.
Let's see this. Did Koenig get a touch on this? Or was that... Oh, we got Craig in the way. It hit someone, but I think it hit Novi Sedlak and went in, so I think that's going to be Ruddle's goal. But great job by Koenig to just get in front. Yeah, just give a little bit of traffic, so we'll welcome more of that. So here we go. The Ducks are now out to a two-goal lead here, midway through the first, and this is the start that Pat McMahon would have wanted from his team after getting into a 3-0 hole yesterday.
It's a much more positive Ducks team today, that's for sure, without a doubt.
There we go. So play here now by the Ducks, trying to get it out. That's Santilli, drops it for Bale. Bale shot, looking for the 5-hole, but a great save by Davis. Jones wants it here at the point, but that's going to go back for Santilli, who now sends it back to Jones. Walks, slapper, deflection, but that just goes wide. That'll allow Carpenter to collect it, and he'll try to get that out, but he's chased hard there by Bale, forcing him to regroup, and finally get that out to Vrelnek, who allows Koenig to collect. So Koenig now, there's a delayed penalty for the Rampage, so Dane Davis is going to go to the net and allow the sixth skater to come out, the 6th attacker. So Ruddle battled hard by Bertossa, and with Speck collecting the puck, we'll have a penalty to the Brisbane Rampage.
So this is a little bit of a danger moment for the Ducks. Last time they had a power play in this situation with a deep face-off down in the other end. Subchak won a cheeky one, and with a good pass through to not McTaggart, what am I talking about? We'll get it in a minute.
Yeah, it was McTaggart.
McTaggart, sorry, and they combined beautifully to get a short-handed goal. So they can't be complacent this time. I think Pat McMahon will have said, listen, guys, don't muck around on the power play. Make sure of it.
There we go. So Ryan Ruddle with 2 goals so far for the Ducks, and Hector Vrelnik with 2 assists. They're both on the bench to start this power play. But the Ducks looking to get a 3-goal lead here against the Rampage. So Webster now in the far corner. He sends that back to the point for Carpenter, who sends that across to McMahon. McMahon being watched by McTaggart, sends that deep for Dixon, who evades the check of Adler. Dixon gets it back to McMahon, who sends it over to Carpenter, who's looked to cross over for Dixon, but deflected there by the stick of Adler into the netting. So as you mentioned, Carl, this is where we get a little bit of danger. You know, in the 5-on-5 scenarios, Rampage coach loves to split up the two imports, right? They got McTaggart on the one line and Sobchak on the other. But when we get into these penalty kill opportunities, he puts them both out there, and that speed and that breakout is something that the Ducks need to be wary of, and also important after letting in 2 shorthanded goals last night. Sorry. So here's
the second shorty was an open net goal too as well. So not quite the same thing, but yes, absolutely.
So here's Webster looking across for Cutter, but a stick check there by the Rampage negated that. So here's Cutter now walking out into the corner. He's got McMahon behind him, but he curls back. He's got Dixon behind the net, McMahon at the point, and he looks over for Carpenter, and that just bounces off his stick. And here comes Sobchak chasing, but Carpenter able to collect that over to Webster, who now finds McMahon. So McMahon has a little bit of space over the blue line, sends it over to Cutter. Cutter on the right wing, drops it back for Webster, who sends that deep now for Cutter. So Cutter in the far corner, he's got the puck. He's got Dixon in front, but what a save by Novi Sedlak. So here's McTaggart, who finally looks like he'll get the puck out for the Rampage, and he looks for his teammate in Sobchak, but just not able to hit him. And those two boys
there came up before because Adler was without a stick for a moment, which created the space.
So those two boys are going to get off, and we got McTaggart going hard with Bennett there in the point, and we got Sobchak jumping on as well. We don't know what that all started with, but we've got McTaggart right on top of it looks like Bennett there for the Ducks.
You could make a wager that this was an attempt by the Rampage to break up what has so far been a very dominant Ducks period, something to break the rhythm.
So that's Webster. So we got Webster again, who's in the fray of it as a leader. So on that one, just as they were all going to the bench, it just looked like maybe a little bit of a collision, and then it started into a little bit of fisticuffs. So it'll be interesting to see what the officials call out of this one. If there is anything or coincidentals or something, well, they're having a little bit of a chat. We've got McMahon and Anderson here just to hear what's going on. But
it all started fairly innocuously there, just with a little bit of a push, and then
Sobchak came in
fairly quickly.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a off and going, but you know what? Early on in this game, I think if we look at it, it's been great forechecking, great pressure. The things that we talked about pregame from the Ducks and what they needed to do, they've been doing it, and it's reward. They've been rewarded on the score sheet for it. I think one thing that'll be interesting as this game starts to, we move through the periods, is the Ducks are only out with 12 skaters right now on the bench, so a little bit light. It'll be interesting to see if they can continue this high tempo, because it's definitely working. It's definitely working so far early in this game.
What they need to do, they've got much more players crashing the net and getting those rebounds, and that's where that first goal came from. Was just net presence and being there strong.
So there we go. So it looks like we're going to get McTaggart and Webster, each getting coincidentals, 2 minutes for roughing. So Liam Webster, again, he's not afraid of standing up for any of his teammates there. So just a little bit of a tussle there between the benches. He'll sit for 2 and will remain on the power play for the Ducks with 39 seconds left, and it'll be 5-on-4.
And the Ducks need to be careful. This time the Rampage have got a different line on. They haven't got Sobchak and McTaggart. I think McTaggart is off for a very good reason. He's actually sitting in the box.
Yeah, so it was McTaggart. It was McTaggart and Webster that were tussling there. Sobchak did come in after and give a little face wash, but he won't get any minutes. So Rampage send the puck deep there. McMahon collects it for the Ducks, and the captain will skate out and send it over to Vronek. So Vronek being chased there by Anderson. Oh, he tried. Durnsford goes for the hit, but a nice job by Vronek to evade that one. That comes out to Ruddle. Oh, but a great save by Novi Sedlak. So Ryan Ruddle's been all over the puck early and nearly had a natural hat trick.
We'll just see this one on the replay as well. It was mighty close to going through the 5-hole. Watch this on the replay.
Yeah, look at that. Just closes the legs.
Good save. But
and then
great,
got
great
the rebound too. Yeah, so great job by Ryan. He's having a great game, Mr. Ruddle, so far.
Put a firecracker up him, and it's lit it.
That's for sure. So Vronek wins the face-off back to Carpenter. Carpenter walks the line and sends it to McMahon. McMahon looking deep for Ruddle now, the goal scorer. 2 goals for Ruddle. Now walking on the half wall. He's going to come into the slot, take a shot, handcuffed there, and here come the Rampage. So the Rampage with Speck coming out of the box, send the puck deep. So we're back to 5-on-5 now. Carpenter for the Ducks collects it in the corner and sends it up to Ruddle, who chips that over to Gallagher, and here he goes. Logan Gallagher 1-on-3, being chased by Speck, but able to send that deep and allow his teammates to come in for some support. So Connor now tried to cut through, but Ruddle nearly took the puck off him. But here comes Adler. So Adler with speed in the neutral zone for the Rampage. Cross the blue line, sends that deep, and covered up by Anderson. And with a little bit of an extra snowing on the goaltender, Ruddle's not happy.
Well, we know that Adler's game is to niggle.
Yeah.
And he's certainly doing it. So
that's his game. You know, I love it, right? He goes in, snows the goalie, and goes off onto the bench.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a spray and run, yeah?
Yeah.
But all that provides to do, it's one of two things. I used to say back in my old days, they played rugby, and if someone was hitting you, it's because you were beating them.
Yeah, exactly. So here's Sobchak now out for the Rampage, leading point getter for the Pacific League so far this season. He loses the face-off there to Cutter and allows Leo to collect it, but doesn't get it out. That's Bertassa, able to keep it in. Jordan Smith for the Rampage. Tried to backhand that, but off the defender. So Cutter curls back, but Sobchak was there. Great anticipation, and he evades the check of Cutter, and he's battling hard there in the corner. So Sobchak, as he often does, comes out, makes something out of nothing. He walks, curls, sends that over to Bertassa, who has the puck. He sends that deep into the corner for Anderson to have chase. So Anderson circles that back, regroups, cycles it for Smith. Leo collects it, though, for the Ducks. He takes that, sends it to his D partner there in Stringer, who sends it up to Cutter, who gets the puck out, but a great poke check there by Jones. Cutter now collects it, crosses the red line, but Smith sends it deep. So, great little forecheck there by Sobchak. Got a scoring opportunity, but wasn't able to put the puck in the net, and the Ducks get out with that shift. So here's Vrelnik, across, scores! Ryan Ruddle, natural hat trick. That's number 3, baby. And what a pass by Hector Vrelnik. We've got a 3-goal game. Look at this on the replay. What a pass, and just makes no mistake.
That was a beautiful top shelf shot.
There we go.
Block aside, and there was no stopping that one.
Yeah, get your hats on the ice, ladies and gentlemen. That's a natural hat trick. 3 straight for Ryan Ruddle, and we've got a 3-goal lead for the Melbourne Ducks here with only about quarter of a period left, so 5 minutes remaining.
5 minutes to play, and all back to 5-on-5. The penalties all now what?
There we are. So, this time yesterday, it was the Brisbane Rampage who were up 3-0 on the Melbourne Ducks, and tonight the Melbourne Ducks are doing their best Brisbane Rampage impression, and they're up 3-0 here early. So here's the Ducks, who sends it up for Webster. Webster over to Gallagher, and Connor falls. This allows Bennett to join the rush. Bennett, just tries to get past Adler, who laid the body there on Bennett. So here comes McTaggart here for the Brisbane Rampage. McTaggart chips it over to Barnes, just not able to shoot the puck, as that was a nice stick check there by Liam Webster.
Not mine too, denying the opportunity early.
That's for sure. So Webster finds Ruddle, the 3-goal scorer here in the first period. Will send that deep into the zone and chase in for himself. So Adler now collects it. He's going to get hit by Ruddle. You know that. Any opportunity they get, they're going to lay the body on him. So Ruddle now still with Adler. Adler goes to hit Ruddle and ends up with the puck. So those two are John with one another and giving each other a few little hits. But Brisbane Rampage collect the puck out of that one. So here's McTaggart here on the left wing. On his off wing, brings it in, backhand. Nice job by Carpenter to reverse it. Puck squirts out in front. Here's Adler, wind up, shot, knuckler. But a great save by Dane Davis. A little bit of a back and forth pushing in the front there between Webster and who's that there for the Rampage. That looks like Jones, or Bale, sorry. What a save, though, through traffic. Look at this. There's bodies galore, and he just snares that one out of the air.
Offside one. Dane Davis has some of the best hands in the business.
100%. The way he can just put that glove out and just snatch it out. I mean, if for Harry Potter fans, he could have been, what is the one we have to get the golden snitch? What's that?
One of the
wizards, Seeker or something like that? I don't know. It could be one of those. So Vrelnik wins the face-off, as Santilli collects for the Rampage. Took the shot on that, hit Speck, and went into the corner. So Speck's battling with Leo. Puck comes out here in the slot, and out comes Koenig. So Koenig, 2-on-2. Victor Vrelnik collects it. Vrelnik over, sends it in front. It goes into the corner, and Santilli able to collect for the Rampage. So Santilli looking for Speck, not able to find him, and Carpenter collects it. But Santilli now with it, sends it into the corner. Speck for the Rampage. Sends that in the front, but the puck's loose. Carpenter sends that up. He's got it now, looking for Vrelnik, but just out of his reach will allow Jones to collect it. Santilli's calling for it, but Jones, nice little move, sends it up. Speck just goes offside, and with Santilli going in, not able to keep that in as it just went off the skate of Speck.
Speck not happy about that, but we're looking right down the line of the linesman, and that was offside by a good half a foot. So a fair bit of verbaling going on throughout this game as well. I think at some point or other, watch for Adler. He's getting a bit feisty. He's unhappy at the moment, and his game will be to try and break the rhythm.
Yeah. So here we go. The Ducks again with the puck, and it's been on their stick more often than not so far here early in the first period. McTaggart, though, chips it forward to Smith. So they've got McTaggart and Sobchak out together here to end this period and try to build some momentum. But Cutter's now with it for the Ducks. He's going to circle back. He had Dixon, but he didn't like what he saw. He'll curl that back for McMahon. McMahon looking for Webster, intercepted by McTaggart, and Dixon then gives chase and forcing McTaggart deep into his own zone. So the two imports out for the Rampage. McTaggart finds Sobchak. Sobchak with it. Twist, turns, and he's being hooked now by Webster. So hands up. There will be a penalty against the Melbourne Ducks. Webster, if Brisbane can't score here. So here's Smith's shot. Blocked there by Stringer. Chips out for Connor. Sends that deep, and now with Cutter collecting the puck, Liam Webster will be heading to the penalty box, and maybe he should have left his mouth guard in there.
So he'll come over here for another drink and a bit of a second spell. They are going to get a little bit tired, the Ducks. They are a little bit short bench today, so the penalty box an opportunity to get a breather. But I can't see Liam Webster being the sort of guy to shirk the issue deliberately. No, 2 minutes and 40 to go in this period, and the Rampage.
It's the twisting and turning of Sobchak, right? In that zone, he was able to twist and turn, and just unfortunately, Webster got his stick up, and he'll sit for two. So here's the power play. The Rampage need here late in the first to get back into this hockey game. He's currently down 3-0. So face-off won by the Rampage. McTaggart able to get that over to Sobchak and just evade a diving Ruddle. McTaggart walks the line, sends it down for Barnes. So Barnes here on the half wall finds McTaggart at the point. McTaggart shot, saved there by Davis, and the puck goes into the corner. Now that gets corralled behind the net for Anderson. Anderson for the Rampage, sends it back to Sobchak. Sobchak winds up, passes it over to McTaggart, who looked over for Anderson, and that was intercepted there by the Ducks and sent down the length of the ice.
Good clearance there, buying some time with 2 minutes to play.
That's for sure. So that's a nice little drop pass there by Sobchak over to Anderson, who goes through the neutral zone with speed. He'll drop that for McTaggart. He's got Sobchak behind him, and Sobchak's just there. So he'll find Sobchak. He'll wind up. Slap pass. Shot. Nets off. And that was one hell of a scoring opportunity with Sobchak with the slap pass over to Barnes, who just wasn't able to beat Dane Davis. And as the net came off, we have a whistle.
So Sobchak's certainly done it quite a few times so far this game. He's faked that slap shot and then immediately transitioned to a pass. He's done it quite well, and it's committing a lot of the Ducks to defend his shot, which it looks like he's never going to take. So they're going to need to be alert for that, but he just done it really, really well.
I mean, he's got, I think, 10 goals and 14 assists so far in the Pacific League. So, I mean, if he decides to shoot, he could definitely score.
He's playing out here at D for this power play, too.
Yeah, so in this last power play, they got 5 forwards out on the puck. And there's Sobchak with the shot off the glove. Now chipped out. McTaggart here on the point. He takes a shot. Save again by Davis. So Sobchak now playing deep. He's got Jones there on the point. Anderson will collect it, and he'll now look for Jones. Actually gets it back to McTaggart. So McTaggart on the near point. He'll curl, take that down onto the half wall. He's got Jones wide open, squirts it in front. Here's Anderson, and they just a little bit of miscommunication there between Sobchak and Anderson allowed Cutter to send that over to the corner. But the Rampage keep it in. Cutter has it now, and he'll use that opportunity to shoot that out, but into the Ducks bench. So we'll have a face-off there in the offensive zone.
So far, a pretty good penalty kill. Sobchak had a good opportunity for a tip-in from a pass across the front, but he didn't quite manage to connect with the puck. And with 1 minute 15 to go in the period and 36 seconds to go in the power play, and we have an attacking zone face-off for the Rampage.
That's what you want if you're the Ducks, right? Get those guys off, right? Yep. If you can kill that first minute and a half, you force Sobchak and McTaggart to get off and have Brisbane bring on their second PP, which just isn't as just isn't as dangerous, I'd say.
It's not as potent, but it's a lot more physical.
That's for sure. So Adler gets it down to Smith. Smith with a shot. Save there by Davis into the corner. Vrelnik sending it out for Bennett, but he's not able to get it out. And a nice shot there from the point. Saved there by Davis. And McMahon muscles the puck off the Brisbane player, allowing Dixon to send the puck down for the rest of the zone.
10 seconds to go now on the power play.
So here's Dixon chasing on Adler, and Dixon does a great job to push him off the puck. So Dixon sends it deep to Vrelnik, out back to Dixon, checked by Bale, and here come the Rampage. So Connor sends it to Sobchak, who pokes it up to Connor, but Dixon gets back and sends that down, and with his player in Webster getting off the penalty box, that'll go down for icing, and we'll have a face-off to the right, I believe, of Dane Davis.
And with 27 seconds to go, we're back to full strength 5-on-5. So far, the Melbourne Ducks 3 to the Brisbane Rampage 0. Shots on net 16-8 in favour of the Ducks.
So Liam Webster has been mighty great in the face-off dot. He'll face up against Sobchak, who's going to try to win that back to McTaggart. But Webster wins it, as he's often done so far in this game and yesterday. Gets that puck and allows McMahon to send that down the length of the ice. But as it just got out of the reach of the Brisbane player, it will go down for another icing, and we'll do it all again.
So now 17 seconds to play. The Ducks would be pretty happy to go into the end of this period with things staying the way they are. Of course, the Rampage would love to sneak one in.
So interesting.
A bit of momentum going.
There's an interesting rule, right, with icing, and I don't know if you guys know about it, but the offensive team can choose which side they want to get the face off.
Yep.
So last time they chose this side, they couldn't beat Webster. So Sobchak said, let's try the other side this time. So let's see if Webster can win the face off again. And he ties up the centerman and Anderson and gets it, but Sobchak collects the puck. So Sobchak now, he's got it behind the net, being chased by Webster, and Webster knocks him off the puck, allowing him to circle that over to Vrelnik. So we got 5 seconds left. Vrelnik gets it up to Dixon. There's 1 second. Is there going to get a shot off? But no, Dixon not able to get a shot off. But the Ducks will go into the break up 3-0 on 3 goals by Ryan Ruddle and 3 assists from Hector Vrelnik.
And we're going to get a rapid interview here from one of the players as they come off. So we're going to cut over to them in just a few moments. But that a much better period for the Ducks. The Rampage, perhaps they didn't recover from the night. It is a difficult thing when you're away from home, you're sleeping in a strange bed, and Melbourne weather, we've turned it on for you if you've come down from Queensland. It is cold and miserable outside. If you're going skiing, it's fantastic, but here in the ice rink, there's plenty of frozen stuff that we much prefer. And it's been a dramatically different first period as we just wait for our interview to get looking like it's ready to go.
So I think early on in that game, if you go back to yesterday, right, we talked about the first period of the Brisbane Rampage and their ability to go through and really score on those odd man rushes and really not have to deal with so much of the forecheck of the Ducks. Tonight, the Ducks just kind of continued to do what they did for kind of the second and third period yesterday.
With the difference, though, this time they're owning the slot. They're actually getting there in numbers. Yeah. So we're ready now to cut across the interview, and it looks like we've got Ruddle being interviewed by Ross Fisher, and we're cutting over to them now.
Right, here Arthur Ryan Ruddle, hat-trick in the first period. A bit of a different game to yesterday where we've been able to come out and dictate the terms to the opposition.
Yeah, the boys definitely got off to a bit of start there. I think execution for sure. Just even a few more of those passes, getting some nice shots on. The intensity's been good, so definitely caught a little bit flat last game, but coming out hot, hey?
So I guess the secret now, keep it up and keep the pressure right up on them.
Yeah, totally. We obviously back ourselves as a good team. I think the game's got a little rattled maybe last game really, and the boys are firing, got confidence going. So yeah, it's more of the same for sure.
So good luck with the next game.
So thank you there from Ryan Ruddle and Ross Fisher interviewing there. We're going to go over to an ad break now, and we'll be back with you in about 10 minutes.
A big thank you to our principal sponsor, Moondog Craft Brewery. Moondog World is just around the corner at 32 Chifley Drive in Preston. Visit their indoor lagoon with 72 beers on tap, Palmer's burgers, and a whole lot more.
Hockey is made of many things. Of early morning practices and cold rinks. Sticks and skates. Fresh sheets of ice and scuffed boards. Of grit and guts. Passion and power. Performance and precision. It's made of crushing physicality and split-second agility. Of generation after generation of lacing up, raising the cup, and not once giving up. We've always been, and always will be, true to this game. And this game doesn't demand much. Just everything you've got. CCM.
What's up, guys? This is Matt Watson coming to you from Ice HQ Melbourne inside Tony the Transporter. When I finished packing for this year-long adventure here down under and only had this much luggage, I assumed that I had forgotten something important, like an anti-venom for a snake bite, or a spider bite, or a bite of Vegemite. Man, that stuff's gross. Oh, man. Turns out that important item that I should have brought but didn't was a pair of hockey skates. That's right, you heard me correctly, hockey skates. Never in a million years did I think that by moving to Australia and living in a van, I would fulfill my lifelong dream of playing for a league hockey team. But that is exactly what happened, and stick around to the end of the video. You'll even get to see my very first and so far only goal.
You want some comedy? What? You got some comedy? Huh? You wanted comedy? It's bad. What's in comedy?
Now, I'm well aware that being a Canadian in Australia, saying that I joined a ice hockey team to any Aussie I meet makes me a walking stereotype. How's it going, eh? What's great about hockey is that we get nose jobs without ever having to go to the hospital. Buddy, I'll fight a kangaroo if he drops his gloves. Yet, for some reason, despite being from the capital city of Canada, I played my first ever official league hockey game right here in Australia. If this ever gets back to our Prime Minister, Justin Bieber, oh man, he's gonna chop off my Justin Trudeau. This, my friends, is Ice HQ, home of the Melbourne Ducks and one of 2 arenas in this city. Yes, there are hockey rinks here in Australia, so stop being so darn ignorant. Seriously though, before joining this team, I didn't think there was ice here either. I discovered this incredible league when a fellow player came to one of my Melbourne Comedy Festival shows and invited me. And I was like, dude, just because I'm from Canada doesn't mean that I play ice hockey. Seriously though, how much is it? One of the biggest deterrents for getting into this sport for most people is the financial investment it takes to get all of the gear needed to play. In fact, that's the main reason why I didn't get to play growing up. Yet, for this particular community, not owning a single piece of hockey equipment isn't a problem. Included within your league registration fee for joining Ice HQ C2 Adult Development Team, which is incredibly reasonably priced for the record, and that's saying something coming from me. I live in a van. The rink will provide you with absolutely everything you need to play, from the helmet on your head to the skates on your feet, and it can be borrowed before every game thanks to the head organizer Jane and her incredible commitment to everything involving this community. Then her equally passionate partner, Coach Carl, harnesses her labor of love, teaching every player the ins and outs of the good old hockey game, never losing his patience no matter how many times he's got to explain offside. Now, despite never playing an official ice hockey game in my life, I was pretty confident going in there, having watched the Toronto Maple Leafs play all season long. So I got my locker room excited to a 10 by saying I was Canadian and then didn't live up to the hype. What an absolute blast that was. I've played organized sports my entire life, and I'm here to tell you that this particular community is something special. I don't care where you're from. If you're involved with ice hockey in Australia, then you're darn passionate about this sport. Not only are all their games streamed on the Ice HQ YouTube channel, which I will link on the screen and the description below, but after playing only 3 games, I already feel a part of a family. One that sticks around to watch their peers play the next game, or gathers upstairs to watch a stream of the Melbourne Ducks all together. and gifts equipment from one player to another, including a brand spanking new pair of mitts from Coach Carl, guaranteeing I'll never get in a fight because these beauties are just too cozy to drop. So if you're in Victoria, Australia, and you want to play hockey, regardless of your financial situation or your skating ability, and even if you cheer for the Montreal Canadiens, you're welcome here at Ice HQ. And from this van-dwelling Canadian comedian in particular, thank you for making my dream come true. Hey, you beautiful person, by watching this video, you are already supporting me. So thank you so much for doing that. If you want to go a little bit extra, it's super easy and you can feel great about yourself because it helps me out a ton. Just give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and then just send it to a friend. Be like, check this guy out. He is hilarious. I've also got the Ice HQ YouTube channel linked over here if you want to see this crazy Canadian try to play hockey here in Australia. But that is it for this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next week.
Good afternoon, everyone. We've got our favorite junior duck scramble ready to go. So for those of you who've been coming out every week, you might have known kind of how this works. We have our under 11 Melbourne Ducks out here, and they're going to be going without any skates, racing around the ice rink, hoping to get back here to the blue line first to be crowned the winner. So our under 11s here, we've got quite a few of them out. We've got Tom Gillies, Will Gillies, Angus Hunter, Ethan Kim, Christian Borg, Alex Gregory, and Alex DeSantis all out here, and they're fresh off a 12-2 shellacking of their last game of the Ice Wolves there in their IHV season. So boys, what we need, I'm gonna get you to line up here on the blue line, all right? And remember, the only rule that you have to worry about is you have to be the first one back here, right? How you get there is up to you. So are you guys ready? Steady. Go! There we are. So we got, oh, look at Hunter and Borgie. They're out there quick in the lead. So Angus still in the lead now. He's going around, and little Alex DeSantis here at the back. He's just catching his feet, but he's got his motions going now. The lead's still there by Tom now, who has obviously experience, as this is his second chance at the ice scramble. He said small steps, baby steps was the way to go. So let's see what happens. So Tom still in the lead, but he's being chased there by his son. Oh, a nice hit by Hunter. Oh, there you go. So Hunter's getting into the spirit of it, but that didn't phase young Gillies. So here comes Tom. Tom turning around the corner. We're down to it now. He can see the finish line. Tom, he's led nearly from the beginning. Here he goes, collects himself on the wall, but here comes Alex. Is Tom gonna get there? He goes, Tom! There we are, Tom with the victory, but who's gonna come second? It's a big chase for second, and here he comes. That's Alex Gregory in second place, and Will there in third, and across the line is Angus. So let's put a round of applause, guys, for our junior under 11 Ducks. They did an amazing job out here, and we wish you guys luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully you guys continue to win. Thanks a lot, guys.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to the Ice HQ Ice Rink here in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia. Round 4, Game 2 of the Pacific Hockey League between the Melbourne Ducks and the Brisbane Rampage. The score at the moment, to bring you up to speed, the Ducks 3, the Rampage 0. So far, all the goals have been scored by Ryan Ruddle, who has had a natural hat-trick. All the assists have included Hector Vrilnek, so great welcome back for Vrilnek from his suspension. And Ducks 16 shots to the Rampage's 8, but the shots on goal don't tell the whole story, do they, Anton?
No, I mean, right, I think obviously we spoke about it at the end of the first. Great forward pressure, and most of the time in the attacking zone has been for the Melbourne Ducks, but there have been some really great scoring opportunities for the Rampage as well, and none better than one by number 64, who's taking the ice here, Jordan Smith, who came and took an absolute beautiful shot that was earmarked for the top corner if it weren't for a great blocker save by Dane Davis. So, I mean, we saw it yesterday. The Ducks, they pressured when down. And, after averaging 5 goals a game, the Brisbane Rampage so far this season, it wouldn't be strange if they weren't able to get back in. So the Ducks will need more of the same. So here we go. Here's Webster for the Ducks over the blue line, getting stick check there, face-off check, but not able to collect the puck. Puck squirts out to the point. Leo, who's looking for Webster, but intercepted by subject. He finds Josh Anderson. So Josh Anderson for the Rampage now, taking the shot. Glove saved there by Dane, but he's not able to collect that, but the puck goes into the corner and picked up by Carpenter. So Carpenter finds Webster, who was looking for Cutter, but that went off the shin guard of Anderson and went deep into the Rampage zone. Webster collects it, looked for the slot, but the only player there was Sobchak. And Brisbane now out through Smith, but only as far as the blue line, where McMahon collects it and sends that deep. So here's the forecheck by the Ducks, led by Vrilnek. Not able to break this one up. So Jones will send that over to his partner in Connor, who send that back to regroup that back to Jones, and up now here for Anderson. So Anderson will just chip that off, looking for Sobchak. Not able to find him, and Ruddle will get there first and send it through. So here's Gallagher. Gallagher with a little fluttering shot, handcuffed Novi Sedlak, and the Ducks have it. So Vrilnek in the near corner now, collects the puck, hit there by Connor, finds Gallagher, who sends that into the corner for Vrilnek to have chase. Vrilnek gets there. He looks to send that back to McMahon, and McMahon here now collects the puck, has a peek, tries to see if there's a lane, but instead he'll just dump that down for the cycle. So Ducks doing a great job of cycling the puck down low. Ruddle finding Gallagher. He's got Vrilnek walking in front of the net, but Gallagher now back to McMahon, walks the center, back to Gallagher here on the half wall, curls, takes a shot through traffic, puck hits high and goes over the net. Ruddle collects it now, but in comes Jones, will now collect the puck but not get that out. Anderson now finally gets it out, but that's going to go down the length of the ice for an icing.
And that's good timing for the Ducks. The Rampage have been stuck out for 90 seconds, and now they're stuck out additionally. So they'll be looking to change as soon as they can, as soon as this puck drops. But of course they can't. They've got to sustain the defence. If you're not aware of the rule, if there's been an icing call and you're the defensive team, you can't change. So they're stuck on, and they'll be pretty tired. They've just basically had 90 seconds of what almost looked like a penalty kill. Yeah, so here's Webster. He's taking the face-off here on the left side. He's going to win that back for Stringer. He'll wind up, take a shot, deflected, but wasn't able to get through. The Rampage try to clear that out, but Stringer able to find Webster. So Sobchak finally will get a change, but Tashuma finding Koenig, who drops it now to Tashuma. He's got Stringer over, shot, scores! Here we go! Koenig to Tashuma, to none other than Corey Stringer. One time in that to the back of the net, and the Ducks have 4. Well, there's a player who's very underrated in Byron Schumer. He set that one up with that beautiful cross-ice pass. You see here on the replay, and just straight across, and nothing the goalie can do about that. That was just a great opportunity. And the Rampage were tired. They'd been out for a long time. They hadn't been able to change, and that fatigue, that opportunity opens up. Shot on the net, beautiful pass across the front, and that was all Schumer's goal, I reckon. That all starts there at the half wall, right? So it was actually the drop pass by Koenig to get it back to Tashuma. Just separated and created that lane for Tashuma to be able to send that over to Stringer, who was pinching and got down. And those three, they play with each other in beer league. They played with each other over the summer for the Dogs. They know each other, and that chemistry was on point there with a great goal. And here come the Ducks again with a shot into the breadbasket there of Novi Sedlak. So the Rampage are going to need to do something. They're now down 4-0, and it's only 2 minutes into the second. They're going to have to do something quickly to change the momentum of this game. I'd be looking for a few tricks up their sleeves and perhaps some disruptive tactics.
Well, they've got the bodies, right? We spoke about it before. The Ducks, they're down to 11 skaters tonight, and so they need to really get the forecheck going, get the puck deep, get the Ducks skating. But so far, credit to the Ducks. They've been forcing Brisbane really just to clear it off the boards and out, and then regroup. But here's Anderson, the captain, shot, saved by Davis, squirts in front, shot. Ooh, great little poke check there by Davis, able to get through. Leo there battling hard with McTaggart in front, not able to get it, and Bertossa there for the Rampage will send that deep, but forced his team to tag up for offside, allowing McMahon to corral that. So Leo now looks out, finds Dixon. So the Ducks have 3 out. That's Vrolnik, who just sends that deep into the corner. He'll collect it. He'll take that behind the net, trying to evade the work of Bertossa there. And Vrolnik still with the puck. He's got Dixon with him, but Vrolnik comes out. He tries to regroup that, but Bertossa for the Rampage collects it. Harley Anderson gets it up to Barnes. So Barnes one-on-one on McMahon, takes the shot, and that just goes wide off the deflection. So we've got a little bit of extra pushing and shoving there in front of the benches, and that's the Ducks player that got dumped, and that's Vrolnik, who got dumped into the open door. And the Ducks aren't happy with that one, and it looks like we'll have a penalty for the Rampage.
Looking around the front there for the Rampage. Adler had just come on. Let's see if he was involved in it.
Yeah, that's a dangerous.
No, not Adler.
Dangerous play there, just on the boards as the boards are opening. That's Vrolnik just on the ground there. I didn't get to see it in play, and I don't think we have a replay of that one. But could be a rib, could be a leg. But there's been a lot of pushing and shoving going on in front of those benches, because these teams they definitely don't like each other.
No love lost, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens here with the decision from the referees, but it's a shame we haven't got that video of that one to show you what happened. We were all kind of distracted by something happening down at the other end with the play.
Yeah.
But Vrolnik looking a bit sore and sorry for himself. It looks like he's worn the edge of the boards.
Yeah. So anyway, going back into this game, this is what the Ducks want, right? They're frustrating Brisbane, right? They're getting the puck deep. They're getting shots on. 18 shots now. They've got 4 goals on the board. And some of that frustration starting to boil over. And, we're seeing quite a few penalties if you look at this, right? We got Jordan McTaggart for roughing. We had Stefan Speck for interference. I don't know what this call will end up being, but we've got Durnsford for the Brisbane Rampage in the box, and I think they'll just be determining, what the penalty would be, if it's a minor, if it's a major penalty. As I said, I didn't see that myself, so I can't make any comment on there.
Well, Vrolnik's still receiving some attention. He'll be, if he's unable to regain the ice, that'll be a disaster for the Ducks. He's been combining so well. He hasn't scored the goals, but he's had 3 assists so far. Yeah. So he's been a really significant player, and he's just been puck winning, and he's been matching up to Sobchak very much in terms of the possession and the attacking menace.
Yeah.
We're just still waiting to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, so it will be a power play for the Ducks. Craig's just pointing down to the offensive zone. Ducks are just having a little bit of a chat, and I think you got the experience of McMahon just talking there. He said, listen, guys, things are happening. Guys are going. Let's keep our heads, and let's just continue to beat them on the score sheet, right?
Yep.
Last thing you want is them to start going out and hunting down Rampage players, because that'll just be a parade to the penalty box, right?
Absolutely. It's not what they want, but it would be a good way for the Rampage to break up the rhythm if they could stir that up, and that's... I'm not going to say that was done deliberately, but it would fit the play.
Well,
we'll see how
let's just say
out.
the Rampage needs something to rally around, down 4-0.
Yep.
There's still plenty of time left in this hockey game, right? 16 minutes here left in the second, and then a whole third period.
Still a few delays as referees floating around giving some more instructions as to what's happening on. The Ducks just kind of loitering around waiting to get themselves organised.
So here we are in the power play. We've got our 3-goal scorer Ryan Ruddle. We've got Webster and Logan Gallagher out here with McMahon and Carpenter. And as we often seen for the Rampage on the penalty kill, they've got McTaggart and Sobchak. So face-off won by the Rampage. Adler's battling there with Ruddle, but the Ducks come out with it. Pass it over to Carpenter, who now finds McMahon on the point. McMahon down to Webster. Webster with a shot, squirts out, but Connor able to collect that, but gets it only as far as the point. Carpenter sends it down to Gallagher, who sends that behind the net. Adler now collects it, and he's being battled there hard by Ruddle. Support there by Gallagher allows Ruddle to collect it and take that into the corner. He's hauled down there by Adler. No hands up in the play, so there'll be no second penalty, but the Ducks still with it. So here's McMahon walking the line, sends it over to Carpenter, who sends it back to McMahon. He'll wind up, pass it over to Webster, shot just wide. Collected here on the near point by Carpenter, sends it down to Ruddle, sends it back into the slot, over to Webster. Webster with a shot. Oh, but a great blocker save by Novi Sedlak. You can see the fans behind the bench, behind the net there, how close that was. But there's Sobchak looking for McTaggart. McTaggart reverse hit on Carpenter, but Carpenter comes out best. McMahon curling, getting away from Sobchak, uses his long reach to get around McTaggart. So with speed now, McMahon coming in, but Sobchak, who is chasing behind, able to lift his stick and get through. He sends it up to McTaggart, who's now one-on-one on Carpenter. Carpenter does a great job there of just watching the body, not allowing him to go inside and outside. He'll curl out, intercepted there by Anderson, who sends it deep, but intercepted there by Ruddle. So some good offensive pressure to start off the power play by the Ducks. But, as McTaggart and Sobchak do, they did have one or two little offensive opportunities, but nothing that would be too dangerous for the Ducks.
We're still yet to see if Rolnick will be coming back on. I can't see him on the bench.
Shot there by Anderson, but a great save there by Davis. Yeah, he's still sitting down there, Vrolnik.
Yep,
He's
not
wincing.
moving at the moment.
Doesn't look good. So the Rampage here with 3 seconds left in the penalty looked to have killed that one off, and we're back to 5-on-5 with Bertassa sending that down the length of the ice.
Well, there wasn't any goals scored there by the Ducks. They did the right thing on that penalty, just putting more pressure on the Rampage.
In front to Anderson, great save there by Davis. Shot by Barnes high and out, and with that going straight into the netting, we'll have a face-off.
So the nice play there from the Ducks on that penalty. They got plenty of shots on early, but the key thing is that they also used up some of the elite members of the Rampage and used up some of their energy having to kill it. That all makes a difference. It adds up.
So face-off won there by Stringer, who's actually going and playing up forward now with Vrolnik sitting on the bench. And here comes Dixon. So Dixon here on the left wing cuts into the slot, shot, poke save there by Novi Sedlak. Stringer collects it though, sends it behind the net for Cutter. Cutter has it, and he'll look for Carpenter, but not able to get that deep as that was intercepted by Anderson. So Harley Anderson chips that forward, but only as far as Bennett, who finds his D partner, and Carpenter will curl back into the safety of his zone, being watched there by the Brisbane Rampage player in McTaggart. So Carpenter behind his own net, sends it off the half wall looking for Cutter, but just outside him, allows Barnes to collect, takes the shot, and a great save there by Davis up into the shoulder. Just made sure that didn't pop down and allow a Brisbane Rampage rebound.
Some interesting play here starting to happen. Rampage are really starting to look for those stretch passes. They're getting their wingers to really start roving around the middle of the neutral zone while they're still deep in defence looking for stretches.
Yeah, so
they need to take those risks.
So I think what we can tell you now is Vrolnik's now left the bench of the Ducks, so hopefully he's all right and he's just walking it off and taking a look. But that will leave the Ducks down to 11 skaters with more than half the game left to go. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one there, Carl.
Yep.
So Rampage out through Bale, who tried to send that deep, but McMahon able to collect that from going deep. So here's Webster, who'll dump that puck deep as he crosses the blue line, or the red line. There'll be no icing. Adler for the Rampage finds it onto the half wall, and out comes Bale. Bale sends it high for Santilli to give chase, but Leo gets there first, and a great little poke check allows Tashuma to collect the puck and get it up to Webster. Webster now winds, shot, blocker save, comes through. That was Koenig trying to battle for the rebound, but the Rampage able to get it out through Santilli. That'll go down into the Duck zone. Bennett will collect it. He's got Tashuma that he looks for, sends it up to Ruddle. Ruddle battling there with Connor and picked up by Webster, but just got behind him and allows Connor to cross into the offensive zone. He sends it over to Sobchak, who's in the far corner. He looks in front, off the skate of Webster, puck's loose, comes in front, and Dane Davis is down, and he'll snare that one out of the air and cover up for a face-off.
Another little vigorous meeting of the minds there in the goal mouth.
Oh yeah, well this is
trying to stir them up.
This is exactly what you said, Carl, right?
Yep.
The Rampage are going to get in. They're going to try to get a little bit physical. But the Ducks aren't going to let them push them around. Not at all.
Well, you've got to protect your goalie, absolutely. And if something happens in front of the net, that's our territory. You can't have it.
Oh, great news, Carl. Hector's back on the bench.
Yep.
He's telling Coach, I'm going to go for a little bit of skate, just see how I feel. It seems like he's favoring his left leg there. He's saying, give me a chance. You know, he's given the universal single, give me a chance. So he'll get a shift. He'll get a shift either next one or the one after. He'll go skate and determine whether or not he can take part in the rest of this game.
So adrenaline's the nature's great painkiller.
Yeah, no player ever wants to sit. That's the truth, right? Especially when you've sat 3 from a suspension. So Gallagher there, not able to get the puck deep, and he's hit there by Durnsford. So the Ducks now, the Rampage get it deep through Anderson, but Bennett for the Ducks collects it and sends it over to his D partner in Carpenter. Now intercepted by Sobchak in the slot, shot, and that hit the player in Anderson as he was going to go into the net. And Bennett's had a lot to say tonight, eh? He's the big boy protecting his goalie, and he's done a really great job of that.
He's not going to take a backward step. Neither will Anderson or Smith by the look of it. All these boys pretty determined. The Rampage perhaps a little bit surprised at how the first period went. Yeah. And there's still a little bit of rigorous discussion going on as they move off towards the bench. Yeah. Anderson and Bennett.
I think Anderson, if you look at this, Anderson kind of connected with Bennett there, and I think Bennett said he kind of went down a little early. Right, and or a little easy, and Anderson had words. So these two both now are going to get penalties. It looks like for roughing.
Just a little bit of a discussion about the finer points of the laws of physics.
Yeah.
So both of them in the box, and it'll be 2 minutes mutual. It'll be very interesting to see what happens when they come out after their 2.
Yeah.
I think they're both a little bit unhappy with each other.
I don't know where they're going, but they're talking to each other that they want to go somewhere. So,
well, the rules are here that each team is allowed, and it sounds kind of weird. Each team is allowed 1 fight. We may see that.
Yeah, well, they definitely are jawing one another. So coincidentals there came out of that collision in front of the net, and out come the Ducks. So the Ducks are out through Cutter, who will curl into his own zone. He'll backhand pass it up to Vrolnik. So here's that little test shift that we talked about before. Let's see how Vrolnik does. Already 3 assists so far in this game. Durnsford curls behind his own net for the Rampage. He'll take that into the neutral zone through to Anderson. So McTaggart now here on the right wing, breaks in, goes behind the net, circles, rebound in front. Davis is down. He's without his goal stick. So Davis without his goal stick makes a hell of another save. He's asking Leo for the stick, but Leo doesn't realize it. A big body laid there by the captain there on Anderson, and McMahon gets it out to Vrolnik. He'll chip that over to Leo, and Leo does a great job to
welcome to IceHQ there, I think.
Yeah, Leo did a great job of evading the poke check there by the Rampage.
Subcheck back on now in the 4-on-4. I was surprised they didn't use him right from the very start of it, perhaps saving it for halfway through. They've got a minute to go on the 4-on-4, so Subcheck now back on the ice.
So here's McTaggart. Nice poke check by Vrolnik, who now has it. He's got Webster with him, but he'll skate it out himself. He now finds Webster, who crosses the blue line, takes a shot into the chest of Novi Sedlak. So it looks like Hector's all right. He's at a decent skate, maybe a little bit of time. But look at that. That's that rebound. I mean that replay. Look at this. So he goes around for the wraparound, but nice job by Davis, able to stop that. And there's that reverse hit by McMahon. Big boy.
Webster lining up now for his face-off in this 4-on-4.
Nice win. Shot. Oh, blocker save there by Novi Sedlak.
It was a good shot by Carpenter from the point.
Yeah, well, Webster's been unreal on the face-off top, but here comes Sobchak curling into the high slot, but a great job by Carpenter to keep an eye on him. Carpenter looking for Webster, but sends it straight to the Brisbane Rampage defender in Connor. Connor now sends it up to Smith. Smith, he's got Sobchak with him. He'll drop it to him. So here's Sobchak winding, walks around, sends it over, save! What a save by Dane Davis! What a pass by Sobchak, but the big boy able to get the pad across and keep this at a 0 score for the Rampage. And here come the Ducks. Often something comes out of a big defensive play, and that's Webster, but into the glove of Anderson. I think we're gonna have to see a replay of that one. Look at this.
That was a great
Sobchak walks around Carpenter, sends it across. Boom, Dane Davis. Not today.
Beautifully.
Not today. Jordan Smith is going to want that one back.
Looks like Sobchak may have a penalty as well.
Man, what a save. I could watch this replay over and over and over again. Dane Davis.
We've got Sobchak in the box, and we think he's in. I think he's in for a hook. I'm not 100% sure anymore. Maybe it might have been a trip, certainly earlier on the mid-ice when he was involved with the trip with Carpenter. It's going to get interesting now when
So 4-on-3.
Bennett gets back on with Anderson.
Yeah, we got a few seconds out. The puck's gonna squirt out, and Carpenter will have to go back, and this will allow Bennett and Anderson to get out. So 5-on-4 power play now for the Ducks. Anderson and Bennett. Bennet's like, let's go. I thought we were going. But
a couple of minutes in the box gives him enough time to cool down a little bit.
So McTaggart finds Durnsford, who sends that into the neutral zone, but collected by McMahon, who finds Carpenter. So Carpenter now over the red line, skates in, now into the offensive zone. He'll take it himself, protects the puck, takes it into the corner, sends it across over for Vrelnik. So Vrelnik on the half wall now, back to McMahon, on the point, back to Vrelnik. Vrelnik now, he looks for McMahon, but a great stick there by Anderson to prevent it. Vrelnik now will go down low for Dixon, looking for Vrelnik. The puck's loose in front, and Novi Sedlak will pounce onto that one and cover up.
And we'll have 1 minute and 12 to go on this power play when the puck is dropped. We didn't see the altercation we were perhaps expecting with Anderson and Bennett.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bennett asked them again, but Anderson turned it down. So we'll see if that changes throughout the game. But it wasn't the Duck player that prevented that from happening. But here's Stringer now on the point for the Ducks. He sends that over to McMahon. He'll regroup it back to Stringer. Stringer now walks in. We've got McMahon on Main Street with a slap shot, but that just goes wide. Ruddle will collect it on the half wall now. He's being chased by two Rampage player, and Ruddle will come out with it. Ryan Ruddle on the forehand shot. Oh my! I think Ruddle thought he scored, and so did I. But that was a great save by Novi Sedlak, able to close the pads and just keep that one from.
Now, one of the interesting things going to happen here, Anton, is that the player who's off is Savacek. And when he comes back on with the end of the penalty, he'll be in a prime position to pick up a stretch pass.
Yeah.
The Ducks are going to need to be aware of that. They haven't got long to go.
So Webster with another face-off win gets it back to McMahon. He'll regroup that over to Stringer. Stringer finds Webster. He's going to look for McMahon, and he does. So McMahon now on the point, over to Stringer. Stringer now back to McMahon. He'll walk up and send that deep for Gallagher. So Gallagher now walks on the half wall, back to McMahon. McMahon down to Webster. He's got Cutter in front, looks for him, but just not able to get it. Now Adler puts a little, check up to Cutter, and Cutter's asking what's going on there, but the Ducks still have the puck. So McMahon now sends it over to Stringer. Stringer on the near point, down to Webster. Webster has a peek. He's got McMahon. Will he find him? Just has to bounce a shot into the corner there, saved by Novi Sedlak. So Gallagher now here on the half wall. He's got McMahon. He looks for him. McMahon now down to Webster. Webster shot, saved by Novi Sedlak, and out comes Sobchak. So McMahon, he's got him here, but does a great job of getting the puck down for Gallagher. So we're back to 5-on-5 now. Cutter behind the net finds Webster. Adler trying to chip it around, but Gallagher gets there first. Gallagher now battling hard. He's got Cutter and Adler there in the corner. The Ducks still with it through Cutter. Cutter now loses the puck, and here's Harley Anderson for the Rampage. So Harley Anderson sends it over across the Rampage, gets it through. Puck comes out for Sobchak, but squirts out now for Gallagher. So Gallagher's getting chased hard by McTaggart, but Gallagher wins it again. Gallagher, looking for the pass through to Cutter, but just in front of him, forced him to go collect it in the corner. So that's McTaggart and Cutter now in the corner. We've got Webster helping out, as well as Bertosa, but with the puck being pinned up against the boards, refs have seen enough, and they'll blow for a whistle. 7
minutes and 22 seconds to go this period. So far, shots on the net, 22 to the Ducks, 19 to the Rampage. It's been a better period for the Rampage, the second one, after the first period where the Ducks piled on 3 unanswered goals.
So here we are, face off to the left of Novi Sedlak. Vrelnik up against Bale. Bale wins that one, but a nice winger win. Here's Tashuma. Sends that just wide with Koenig crashing the net. Tashuma now on the half wall. He's going to get there first and poke the puck, but the Brisbane Rampage able to get that deep and down now. So Bennett will in a foot race with Santilli. Bennett gets there first. Santilli tries to hit him, but not today. That was Bennett able just to evade that check. Now Bennett battling with Bale. He's got 2 Rampage player, but still comes out with the puck. So that's Vrelnik now sending it to Carpenter. Over to Tashuma. He's got Koenig, but he'll skate it through himself. Tashuma dumps the puck and rims it around, and Vrelnik will get there first and leaves it for Bennett. Great poise to leave that out in front. Puck's loose, and that gets sent down the length of the ice. And as long as a Duck gets there first, we'll have an icing. And that's waved off. So great job by Speck to battle hard and wave off that icing after a great scoring opportunity by the Ducks. Koenig sending it over to Tashuma, just misses him, allowing Jones for the Rampage to get that out. corralled here by McMahon, over to Carpenter, back to McMahon. He's being chased by Anderson, and he'll send that around now for Carpenter. Carpenter up off the half wall, finds Vrelnek. Vrelnek, who's looking for Webster, but intercepted by Sobchak. But Webster comes out with it now. He's over the blue line, takes a shot into the glove hand of Novi Sedlak.
Lovely save there by Novi Sedlak. He had a fantastic game yesterday too, pulled off a lot of really good saves, but that one looked fairly routine to the glove. But beautiful work by him again. They're piling up on a lot of saves he had to make yesterday.
That's for sure.
He had a very big game, but not quite as big a game as the Coast goalie over there in Queensland, Central Coast yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he had, 61 saves, and Novi Sedlak had 57. Still pretty good outings for goaltenders,
Absolutely.
So here come the Rampage through Sobchak. He's just going to send that on to Dane Davis, who's going to cover it. And oh no! Anderson's going to feel it now. He ran into Davis after that. And after the altercation and not deciding to ring the bell with Bennett, you know the Ducks are going to have something to say about that. So here we go, a little tussle, and of course Adler's in there. But that all started off kind of a nothing play where Davis covered the puck and Anderson kind of dumped the Ducks player down and continued through and ran into Davis, which started this medley. And as has been so far in this two-game series, Webster's in the middle of that, McMahon's in the middle of that, and Anderson will be sitting for at least two. Or two or less, I guess.
It'll be interesting to see how that one does pan out. There was
look at this replay, right?
Extra movement in.
Here's the save, and then there's no need. Anderson dumps the Ducks player and then pushes Davis, and in comes McMahon. Nah. And Ruddle's in there. That's a great. You got to protect your goaltender. But it looks like McMahon will get a penalty as well. But that's what you need to support to support your goaltender and support your team. Great leadership. So it'll be interesting. It'll just be interesting to see what happens. They're calling over Webster as McMahon's in the box. They're just going to explain what the penalties are going to be for this, right? I think first things first, officials, they'll be saying we can't have any of this, right? Come on, after the whistle, we don't need extra pushing and shoving, but just telling the two captains to tell their teams to calm down a little bit.
Yep, we'll see how that goes because the Rampage, they're going to be pretty cranky. They are down now 4-0 with 25 minutes to play in this game, 26 minutes to play. And that's a big deficit to pull back, especially with the way the Ducks have been playing. The third period will be particularly interesting, though. The Ducks do have a bit of a shorter bench, but the guys have had to step up, bringing in Byron Schumer. He's played particularly well so far. We haven't seen an awful lot of Adler on the ice for the Rampage. Suspect he may be a little bit tired yesterday. He was involved in a couple of collisions and he may be carrying a bit of an injury too. So he's kind of their notorious hitman, for lack of a better. And he hasn't really featured in this game very much.
Yeah, so there's Sobchak and McTaggart just talking with Dane. I don't know if I'm exactly correct, but I think all three of those guys, have some ties back to Canada.
Yep.
Probably just having a chat, talking about Justin Bieber's new Biebs Brew at Tim Hortons, or
there's some really nice maple oil you can get for something.
Yeah. But with that, it looks like we'll have coincidental minors, so we'll have a 4-on-4. And with the first penalty going to the Rampage player, and then matched with the Ducks, the face-off's just outside. So face-off won by the Ducks, who have been outstanding in that department over the last game and a half.
Rampage with McTaggart and Sobot on at the same time with this 4-on-4, this time.
Yeah, so obviously they've got a little bit of extra space, so we got to be careful of that. And McTaggart takes that in for the zone, so he'll curl back, looking for Sobchak, but great job by Carpenter, who was able to intercept that, and he'll send that up for Cutter. Cutter off the wall, looking for Vrelnek, looking for Cutter again, and Durnsford just lays the body on Vrelnek, forcing McTaggart to curl back. He'll now find Sobchak, who does a great job to kick that up to his stick. He goes in, he's in, Deke, save shot, oh my! Dane Davis! What a save after some silky moves by Sobchak to get in one-on-one. We'll have to take a look at that when we get a pause. So here's McTaggart now, walking in front. He's got the puck still. Nice job by the Ducks, and here comes Cutter. Now with 4-on-4, he can't dump the puck, so just waits for Vrelnek. And now he's got Ruddle. So Vrelnek looking for Cutter. He's got it now. Cutter with the shot. Blocker saved by Novi Sedlak. That chips in front, but the Brisbane Rampage were there through Anderson, looking for Barnes. Barnes breaks in on the right wing, takes a shot into the glove save of Dane Davis. So I'm sure we're going to get that replay back. But Owen Sobchak doing what he does, just kicks it up to his stick, just skates. Look at that. Puts the puck into a good area, evades it. Little 1-2, but Dane Davis. Oh, that's off the post.
Another coat of paint on that post.
You know what?
That was in.
I'll tell you what, that's all Dane gave him, right? That's what the goalie always says. That's all I gave you. All I gave you was the post.
All you had was some red paint. That was
but
it.
What a move by Sobchak, man. We're in for a treat every time this guy jumps onto the ice. So we still got a four-goal lead for the Ducks, and Dane Davis still, has not yet been beat. So Ducks get the puck deep, and the Rampage collect it through the big boy in Barnes. He backhands that up to Connor. Connor now sends it off the wall for Barnes to give chase. Now, nice little pinch by Bennett, and he'll win the puck and send that back to Leo. Leo, he's got Bennett, nice little fake pass.
I'm not sure that was a fake there,
I'll give him benefit of the doubt. He'll send that onto the half wall there for Bennett. Bennett now sends that back to Ruddle, who sends that deep. I mean, so far tonight, not a bad choice giving the puck to Ruddle, right?
10 seconds to go on the penalty for the 4-on-4, but we've got another flag up. We've got a slash on, looks like Bennett. So very shortly, there'll be a 3-on-4 for the next 8 seconds or so, and then it'll be 4-on-5 with the Ducks on a penalty kill.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, Bennett's played a good physical game so far.
He has, and that last run there earlier by Bale, that was nicely covered up. He took the angle away and gave Dane Davis in a relatively easy save too. We won't see that. That's that sort of uncredited work that a good, solid defenseman does when they take the lane away and force the attack wide. Gives the goalie a much easier job.
So Carpenter just directing traffic with McMahon about to come onto the ice. They've got 2 forwards and 1 D, and I would imagine McMahon's just going to go straight back there and support there for the 5-on-4. So here we go. So both players out, Anderson and McMahon. We've got Carpenter down. Puck's shot. Carpenter gets up now and collects it in the corner, and he's being checked hard there by Barnes. Dixon gets up, lays the body on Anderson, who then slashes Dixon, but the puck's there in the corner and squirts out for Carpenter. So Carpenter with it now. He's battling hard. Anderson for the Rampage finally gets it out. Now he looks for Sobchak, who comes off the half wall. Back to McTaggart's shot. Saved by Davis. Barnes now collects it, was looking to regroup it, but intercepted by McMahon, and he gets it out. But that was checked by Sobchak, allowing Dixon. There's 2 Ducks. Vrelnik over to Dixon, but a great job by McTaggart to get his stick there. And with a little hook on Sobchak, we're going to have another penalty to Hector Vrelnik.
And so now it's going to be 5-on-3 for the Rampage. It's going to be pretty hard to keep that one out.
Yeah, but what a diving little poke check by McTaggart to prevent that pass from going across. And you just watch there, like, look at this. So in came Dixon. He finds Vrelnik, right? You got two forwards back there. He looks over, but a great diving poke check. And then as Sobchak curled back, Vrelnik tried to lift the stick and just held on a little too long, and then got 2 minutes for hooking.
And so we have 5-on-3 for. I'm not quite sure our scoreboard's not giving us the time. 5-on-3 for a minute 9.
Yeah, so it looks like Rampage have thrown out the second unit. They'll probably be out for about 30 seconds or so, and then they'll get the big boys out there. So here's the Rampage. That was Jones. Back to Connor. He walks in, winds up, takes the shot. Rebound. Adler misses the net. Misses the net. He had a gaping net, and he just wasn't able to put that one in. Connor now again looks deep. Intercepted there by McMahon. He's going to skate out with it, kill off some time, and dump that down on the net of Novi
Sedlak. Miss there by Adler was almost criminal for the point of view of a lost opportunity.
I think any other player, well, maybe not any other player, but, I think, let's just say the Rampage would have hoped that was a McTaggart or Sobchak with the puck on that stick. But here's Webster, pass through to Stringer. He cuts back, shot, deflected off the stick of Adler, and that went high and wide. Connor now for the Rampage, collects it behind his own net.
20 seconds to go on the 3-on-5.
And intercepted by McMahon. So Ducks have done a great job just intercepting these passes. The Rampage just not able to get any real sustained offensive pressure, and that might be as a result of having this second unit out, opposed to those imports of Sobchak and McTaggart, who are now out on the ice. And so the aforementioned Sobchak, he collects it over the red line, over the blue line. He's got McTaggart behind him, and he'll curl back. McTaggart now goes deep. He finds Adler. Adler with a shot, save, rebound. Another save there by Davis on McTaggart. Now back to Adler. He fans on it, sends it into the far corner. Carpenter will now collect it for the Ducks. He's being chased there by the Rampage, and they'll circle that back over to Bennett, who will send that back there for Carpenter. Will hit that hard and down, and Ruddle will be the first one there for the Ducks. Novi Sedlak comes out. He's regroups that over to Sobchak. But here's Ruddle, takes the backhand. Nice save there by Novi Sedlak. So Ruddle, Johnny on the spot, puck squirted out. He had it, but not too much time. Forced a quick backhand and a save there by Novi Sedlak.
So one of the best ways to kill a penalty is to just
that's
get
the
that
Adler
sustained
miss,
pressure.
right? So puck comes in, he's got the whole net, just can't get it on target.
Yep.
Ooh, that could have been a very different game if that went in, but he's still got a 4-goal lead here for the Melbourne Ducks.
You know what they say, Gossie, we don't play almost.
Yeah, exactly. So 19 seconds left on the 5-on-4. To be fair, it's been mostly Ducks here on the penalty kill. Oh, nice job there by Leo to prevent that stretch pass, and he then sends it up for Stringer. McTaggart will collect it. McTaggart and Sobchak, the two players back. He'll drop it for Sobchak, and he'll now send that over to McTaggart. That was just a little bit behind him. Vrilnik's out, and he's in. So Vrilnik on a half break, passes it over, Dixon shot. Great stick check there by Sobchak. So, nearly something out of nothing for the Ducks. Great pass by Vrilnik, but Dixon wasn't able to finish that after a great defensive play by Sobchak. But here he is again, Dixon looking in front, scores! Hector Vrilnik to Todd Cutter, and we've got another Melbourne Ducks goal to bring the score to 5-0 here at Ice HQ.
46 seconds to play in the second period. It's looking at the shot clock though. The Ducks with 31 to the Rampage 31. So Dixon has absolutely played out of his skin in terms of just some brilliant saves, which against many other goalies would have gone in. A couple of lost opportunities too. But just watch this on the replay. It's a superb piece of play.
Yeah, they get the puck deep here, and it's all based on that great passion there. And Vrilnik finds Cutter, but it's all done from that there, right? So you've got Dixon, who sends that pass down to Vrilnik, and then Cutter made no mistake. So 5-0. We got 5 goals for the Ducks. That's what they've been averaging so far this season. Will they be able to get more against a Brisbane team that just seems to have no answers today compared to yesterday?
Scoreless. They're such a good offensive team. They're going to get through eventually.
So here's Webster using his body to keep it up from Speck. He now finds Tashuma. Tashuma inside, outside, collects it on the backhand. Looking in front, it's out for Webster. Out comes Novi Sedlak, who collects the puck, and Durnsford throws a couple cross checks on Koenig, who's not happy.
Yeah, that was a little bit unnecessary. I don't think there was any interference there with the goalie at all.
So Hector Vrilnik back after a 3-game suspension. What's that, 4 assists?
Yep.
Not bad.
He's having a pretty good game.
Not
especially
bad.
After that incident at the gate earlier on in the period when we thought he might have been out for the game, but he's come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, this Ducks team, they've dug deep, and every single one of those men on that bench have put together an inspired effort so far. I mean, you can't say there's been 1 or 2 players that are, I mean, obviously we got a 3-goal game by Ruddle, and we got 4 assists by Vrilnik, but every line has come out here and just forechecked, and really forced the Rampage just to shoot the puck down like this and ice it, and really get not very much offensive pressure, which is very different to what happened yesterday.
Well, the other thing to remember too is that I think yesterday they got those early goals, and I'm not going to say it was Dane Davis's fault, because of course it wasn't, but some of those goals went in, and he's been making those special saves today on some really good opportunities that the Rampage have had, and Davis has just been a wall, as you can see by the shots on and the number of goals scored, and that's made such a difference today. That
one-time save he made on Smith after that great pass from Sobchak. I mean, that one is...
That was a game saver.
Unreal, right? I think at that point it was 3-0, so that's a 3-1 game.
Yeah, so at the end of the second, that's the end of the period, we have the Ducks up to a 5-0 lead over the Rampage, but there were only 33 shots to 31, so the scoreboard not reflecting the number of shots, that's for sure, which is not always the case. We're going to be cutting to an interview now in just a few moments, just as soon as we get someone ready. We'll have someone pulled off for an interview, and then we'll cut to a break. But so we'll just entertain you a little bit. So
I think
Sam's out on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, Carl, you mentioned it, like Dane Davis, right? I mean, that period, Brisbane were out with 23 shots, right? So to make 23 saves in a period, I mean, that's a pretty good effort, and he made some absolutely crazy pearlers. Now, that's not to say...
And look, to be fair too, Rampage have missed a couple of ones that probably should have gone in as well. There was that one late in the penalty that on the power play that they were very unlucky not to put in.
Yeah,
just fanned on a shot.
But it's all been really led here by the forecheck of the Ducks, right?
Yep.
I mean, that last goal was proof of the pudding, right? They were able to get the puck there first, and then because of the forecheck, not only is it great because you force them to miss a play, but actually then when Dixon was able to win the puck, we had Vrolnik deep because he was going for that forecheck, and that allowed Dixon to send the puck down to Vrolnik, who made no mistake passing it over to.
I think you're right. That's certainly been the difference with the Ducks, has been that aggressive forecheck, and just they've never been able. The Rampage have never really been able to get a particularly clean breakout. Combined, obviously, with a bit of fatigue too. It is. We keep mentioning it, but they are away from home. They didn't stay at home in their own beds. You get a bit more tired. These things add up. So a bit of fatigue. It's a big ask, and they're a big team too. The Rampage. They've got some big boys. And they're big and physical, but again, you've got to be fit.
Look, a 5-goal lead is a good lead, right?
It is.
I mean, will I say it's impossible to come back from? No, but this is going to be an interesting period, right? We talked about the short bench for the Ducks, right? They're down to 12 skaters today. Brisbane still have the full bench, so here now with the last 20 minutes, we'll see if some of that fatigue comes in. If the Ducks don't continue this pressure, and they allow the Rampage back into this game, the Rampage have the skill. If they start double shifting guys like Sobchak, McTaggart, maybe Anderson out there, they could easily start to come back. So they need to make sure they continue that forecheck.
They have to be mindful too. They don't overuse those guys and get them too tired. If they do, Sobchak's played and McTaggart, they've played a lot of hockey in the last day and a half. And they get to the third period and they've got nothing but cement in their legs, and it's going to add up. We're going to cut now to our interview, and it looks like we've got
Cutter, our goal scorer,
Cutter being interviewed by Ross and we're cutting over to Ross now.
All right, here Todd Cutter got the fifth goal there. Todd, just a bit of more breathing space after a 3-0 first period, 2-0 second. What's the plan for the third, mate?
Just keep our composure, keep playing how we've been playing, and that's the main talk in the rooms there. It's getting physical out there, it's getting slightly dirty, but we're just going to play our game, because clearly with that scoreboard, that's what's working and that's how we play.
So just keep forging forward, keep putting the puck on the net. Yeah,
that's right. And at this stage here, entering the third period, still got 20 minutes, so we're not going to back off yet. We're going to keep pushing.
Good stuff. Good luck in the third.
So some big revelations there from Toddy Cutter, which is pretty much what everyone would always say. We're going to keep playing our game straight out of the hockey cliche book.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what we'd expect. It's not like he's going to spill the beans on anything in one of those interviews, but it's great to see his perspective. And we're going to cut now to a break, and we're back in about 10 minutes. I don't think we've got any halftime, any intermission entertainment.
Yeah, we do.
So we'll break now, and we'll be back shortly for the third period.
Hockey is made of many things. Of early morning practices and cold rinks. Sticks and skates. Fresh sheets of ice and scuffed boards. Of grit and guts. Passion and power. Performance and precision. It's made of crushing physicality and split-second agility. Of generation after generation of lacing up, raising the cup, and not once giving up. We've always been, and always will be, true to this game. And this game doesn't demand much, just everything you've got. CCM.
Hello, everyone. As you know, we've got our lovely intermission entertainment. I think between the first and second, we had a great job by our juniors going out there for a run, but this one's my personal favorite. It's the Moondog Bucket Ball Challenge, right? How this one works, if you guys were watching online yesterday, if you were here in person, there'll be 2 buckets, a red bucket and a black bucket. And oh, there you go. Nice job there by Tom and Will Giles, Giles out there running into one another. So point of the game is that we have Kenny, right? We've got Kenny Stewart there in the blue jersey, and we got Neris Downing there in the green jersey. And their job is to collect 3 balls, one at a time, and put them in their respective bucket. So Neris, she'll be going for the black bucket, and Kenny will be going there for the red bucket, and the first person to fill the bucket with the 3 balls wins. Other than that, there's no real rules, and I can tell you, talking to both of them, they both have very different strategies, so let's see who wins. Are you guys ready? On your marks, get set, go! There we are, so we've got a little bit of start, and there we have it. So you see Neris is trying to pull Kenny, but it's kind of looking like it's reversing, not working exactly how she had planned. So Kenny's going to be there reaching as desperate as he can to get to the ball first, and he'll get that one. So here we go. So Kenny, first one with the ball. Neris still not able to get past the red line. And here comes Kenny. So Kenny, he'll get to the red bucket first. He'll throw one in, and he'll go back and regroup for the second one. It looks like Neris might have worn shoes with a little bit better grip next time. They seem pretty flat out there. So here we are. It looks like Kenny's toying with her. So these two, they're actually going to be playing in a match against one another tonight. They play in our development league, and Kenny, his team's undefeated, and he reckons he's going to continue that streak by beating Neris tonight. But Neris has the ball now, and she's going to throw that into the bucket and tie up. Oh no, she's not. He's pulled all the way back, and Kenny's able to collect it. So there you go, Neris doing a good job knocking over Kenny, but Kenny still has the one ball lead with Neris dropping that one. So he's just going to kneel and skate over. He'll drop the second one. Now, talking pre-match, Kenny said his strategy was that he just didn't want to fall down. And Neris, she said she was just going to drag Kenny all over the place. But it looks like so far Neris's strategy seems to be going a little backwards compared to what she was hoping for, but I think she's got a chance. What do we have? Can we get our hands together for these 2 absolute beautiful competitors as we near the end of this match? Here we go, let's go. Can we get a cheer? There we go, Neris. Alrighty, so here we are, Neris, she's got 1, but we're down to the last one here for Kenny. Is Kenny Stewart gonna win it? If Neris has any chance, she's going defensive. Oh, and she's bottomed down. This might be her one opportunity to prevent him from getting it in the bucket, but she slips herself, and there we are with a dive and a miss. He can't seem to get it in. So Neris doing some amazing work here, and now it's about her just dragging him all the way down to where those other balls are. Kenny's doing his absolute darndest, and there you are. So Neris might have an idea here. She's using him almost as like a dog with a leash, trying to walk him all the way back, but he's almost there. Can he reach? The desperation! Oh, there he goes! So Kenny Stewart with the win, but that was entertaining. Thank you so much, Neris. Thank you much, Kenneth, and Tom and Will Giles. I really appreciate you guys there as well for your support. So thank you guys. That was entertaining, but momentarily we'll have our Ducks back out there who are playing a hell of a game, up 5-0 here against the Rampage.
And welcome back, everyone, to Ice HQ Ice Arena here in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia. Round 4, Game 2 of the Pacific Hockey League Challenge game between the Melbourne Ducks and the Brisbane Rampage. The score at the moment favouring the Ducks 5-0, which is a little bit unexpected, but the local crowd pretty happy about that. 3 goals in the first, 2 goals in the second. Ryan Ruddle with a hat-trick in the first period. Shots on, though, a different story. The Ducks 33 shots on to the Rampage 31. The Rampage were held to only 8 shots in the first period, but piled on 23 in the second. Dane Davis from the Ducks having an absolute blinder. And Anton, your thoughts on the third period? What are we going to see?
Yeah, well, I think, Todd Cutter put it perfectly in that intermission interview. The Ducks just got to keep doing what they're doing, right? They're playing hard hockey, and they're getting rewarded for their forays into the forecheck, and really preventing the Rampage from getting any sustained pressure. I mean, they have had a few scoring opportunities, really driven by those imports. Every time Sobchak touches the puck, there'll be some sort of magic that he'll be able to create. But it's just those one-off chances that they're getting, and they haven't really been able to get much sustained pressure. So, we've seen a really, to be honest, lopsided game on the score sheet, kind of similar to that Moondog ball bucket entertainment that we saw as well.
A little bit, yes.
Where Kenneth was able to win three balls to 1, I believe, over near us. But here we are, third period underway, and let's see what the Ducks and Rampage have in store. So there's been a goaltender change as well. So we have Novi Sedlak, he'll sit, and we've got Luca Darcy, who will be thrown into net there for the third period, just probably giving Novi Sedlak a little time off after all the shots he's faced over the last day and a half.
He's had a big 2 days at the office, that's for sure.
That's for sure. So here's Webster now facing off against Sobchak. Webster wins it, gets it back to Leo. Leo looks for Webster, but that just goes off the skate, allowing the Rampage to come out. So Sobchak sends it up to Smith, just gets behind him. Sobchak now with it in, pass over to Smith. Another great save by Dane Davis. Put that on repeat, guys. Every single chance, he seems to be there to shut the door.
He just caught Leo a little bit on a pinch and got through and just managed to create that space that he does so well.
So there's Connor looking for Smith, who just got robbed for the second time by Dane Davis on the one-timer. McMahon regroups with Carpenter, and it's back with Carpenter now in the far corner. McMahon looking up, finds Gallagher. So Gallagher now here tried to just send that off the wall, but intercepted there by the Rampage player in Jones, who just sent that down for Anderson to give chase. Regroup here for the Ducks. They now get it out through Ruddle. So the 3-goal natural hat-trick first period scorer, Ruddle, over the blue line, winds up, takes a shot, but that got deflected into the corner, allowing Jones to collect for the Rampage. He'll circle back, but pressured hard, and Vrolnik now comes out with the puck. He'll drop that there for McMahon, who now has it. He'll wind up, take a slapper into the pads there of Darcy, and the Rampage able to squirt that out and force the Ducks back in.
An interesting decision by the Rampage to mismatch their lines. They've got their top line sitting off at the moment, while the Ducks have Ruddle and Veronica out on the ice. So an interesting combination, interesting choice.
So there's Ruddle sending it up to Gallagher. Back is Josh Anderson. So we have Josh Anderson and Ryan Bennett both on the ice now, and we know those two were jawing with one another earlier in the game. That's chipped in by Santilli, but Ryan Bennett able to get the puck out, and just drilled here by Ruddle. Bertassa put on his backside. So keeping the physicality going as the Ducks. So it's worked for them so far, and they'll keep it going. Tashuma here on the right wing, cuts it across for Webster. Back and shot, scores! Ryan Ruddle, goal number 4. Here we go, and it's 6-0 for the Melbourne Ducks.
It's turning into a bit of a boil over at the moment. It's a very interesting decision, I think, by the Rampage to switch those aggressive forwards off to line them up against the second line, maybe looking to match them up against what they might consider to be the Ducks' second line. But I don't think the Ducks have a second line here. That's what they're going to be stuck with.
Yeah. This has been the third time we've seen this tic-tac-toe, right? We cross the blue line, you send it across to that half wall, just kind of top of the circles, and then you send it down far side, cross crease pass to the back door, and it's been working for the Ducks.
And not a pleasant introduction to the rink for Luca Darcy from the Rampage there, straight up to have a goal scored against him in the first minute and a half.
So fan pass there by Stringer, but Ducks able to collect it through Tashuma. So that's another assist there for Tashuma, who's up to 2 now after the inclusion of missing out last week. So the 2 inclusions, Vrelnik and Tashuma, getting on the board, which is what the Ducks would have wanted. But here the Rampage, Santilli, poke check, back, Speck, shot, blocked by Tashuma, Speck again. It squirts out here for Connor. So Connor on the point here for the Rampage, winds up, gets the the shot through traffic. It's in front, and puck's still loose. Comes out. Here's Bertassa. He tried to find Connor, but Connor had already exited the zone, and he'll be forced to tag up with his forward. So Connor in his own zone now, has a peek, looks there for Smith. Smith collects it. He's one-on-one now with Carpenter. He's all by himself with 4 Ducks in the zone, so forcing him to curl back. He's got McTaggart, and he drops it for him. McTaggart behind the net, curls, chips it in front, squirts into the slot, but the Ducks come out with it through Tashuma. Now Carpenter, who's got Sobchak chasing, finds Stringer, and he looks up for Koenig, and just out of the reach, which forces the Rampage back behind their net.
Deep on a stretch pass, and Lau comes over to cover him up.
Yeah, so here comes McTaggart here for the Rampage. So we're tagging up McTaggart and Sobchak again. The Rampage desperate to find any sort of momentum. Cutter lays the body on Connor, and McTaggart collects it for the Rampage and gets it down for Sobchak. So Sobchak not able to get the best of Leo, and that allows the Ducks now to get it out through Vrolnik. Vrolnik drops it for Dixon. Dixon now in. So Dixon one-on-one, and with the stick up in McTaggart, it looks like the unfortunate offensive penalty. We'll have Cutter going for 2 for hooking. Yeah, so that's not one that you want for Cutter, right? Dixon breaking into the zone. He just got tied up there with McTaggart, and with his stick getting stuck up in between the arm, he'll sit for 2 or less for hooking, allowing the Rampage to get 5 out, and they'll go 5 forwards.
And it's one of those obvious things now, but the Rampage need to score if they have any chance whatsoever in the Sobchak and McTaggart floating up high.
Well, even with just the pride aspect now, right? They've got 5 forwards out: Harley Anderson, Josh Anderson, McTaggart, Sobchak, and Smith. So they're 5 best offensive players. Let's see if they can work any magic here on this 2-minute power play.
And of course, the risk they're taking there is if these guys don't score on this particular play and they end up with even more
here's
fatigue.
McTaggart with speed, cuts it in, shot, save, puck's loose, covered up by Dane Davis.
So the risk they face here, Anton, of course, is they're going to wear these guys' legs out, and they will have to change off. And then when it comes back to 5-on-5, you'll have a weaker line from the Rampage playing up against a fresher Ducks line. And that's the exposure they take. They've got to take these risks. They've got to give it a go. You've got to roll that dice. We saw it yesterday when the Ducks pulled Davis with 3 minutes to go to get a 6-on-4. You've got to roll those dice and take high-risk chances when you're down like this.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can tell you what, though, Dane Davis, he's having an absolute brilliant game today, but he always looks best when it looks like he's not trying. Seriously, it's just his positional play. He's able to get the body, and he just gets his body in the way and stops the puck, and he's been outstanding. So there's another shot, deflection there, goes into the corner. Smith will collect it. He gets hit there by Carpenter. Puck squirts out now for Ruddle. He'll send that down the length of the ice and kill off a few seconds here on the penalty. So out comes Darcy. He'll leave that for McTaggart. He'll circle behind his net. I would imagine he's going to drop this here for Sobchak, but he doesn't, so he walks around Ruddle, and he sends that deep around for Anderson to give chase. Stringer will get there first, but it chips out back to Sobchak, who's just able to keep that in over the line and get that through to McTaggart. So McTaggart walks into the center of the ice, gets it over to Anderson now, shot, save right into the glove of Dane Davis.
Good screen there by Santini, but not enough to actually... If you had maybe been able to deflect that puck, it would have been a different story. So there's been a little bit of luck here as well. But, you need luck and you need shots, and you need all those things to combine on the day. And so far, the Ducks have had the luck and the shots.
And that's a prime example of that positioning I was telling you about, right? Dane he's just composed in the net, gets his body where it needs to be, and the puck just seems to float right into his glove, right? So here's Connor, sends it over to Adler, who has to kick it up to his stick. That's going to allow McMahon to lay the body on him, and it's going to get behind for Santilli. So Santilli now back over into Connor in the slot, takes a shot, great block there by Tashuma. Way to get your body in the way, young man. Nice job. So here they go. So the Rampage send it down, and this will allow Stringer to collect for the Ducks.
And 30 seconds to go on the penalty.
Send it up to McMahon. McMahon now chips it, comes looking for Vrolnik, and that was Santilli trying to lay the body, but he came out worse for wear. So the Ducks fans have plenty to cheer about here. They seem to be snuffing out all the opportunities for the Rampage, but a shot there by Santilli into the breadbasket. And he'll skate up and just look at Dane and probably whispered in his ear saying something, what do I got to do to score on you?
Nice save, mate. Nice save. Did you like the pass?
Yeah.
Because it was a nice pass to him. In the end, it was... I mean, those shots, sometimes they go in, but that one wasn't particularly well screened, and they're just trying to get shots on at the moment. Interestingly enough, shots now in favour of the Rampage, 39-36. But the goals absolutely the other way around.
39 straight saves for Mr. Dane Davis. So here's Bennett.
Good for statistics today.
Yeah. So here's Bennett not able to get that out. So here's Smith. He's got Sobchak looking for it. Tries to find him and gets it down for McTaggart. So McTaggart behind the net, but he's going to battle there with Carpenter. And Carpenter's going to get there first. Dropping it for Bennett. Squirts out there. So here's Smith. Smith now collecting it. We've got Carpenter out with McTaggart. So McTaggart now gets the puck. There's a little hook on the stick. So we'll have another penalty to the Ducks. Shot comes in. It's loose. Everyone's laid there on Davis. And Davis doesn't like an extra player with Smith right on top of him. We'll have the whistle, and it'll be Ryan Ruddle going for a hook, or a slash, sorry. Going for slashing.
So far, the Rampage have been unable to score. They've had a 5-on-3 for a minute or so in this game. Weren't able to score with that either. But so the Ducks penalty kill is really firing at the moment. That gets going to be tested again with 13 minutes and 58 seconds to play. They've got another 2 minutes of penalty to kill.
So here we go. So they're going to go out with a different five. So we'll have Harley Anderson, Josh Anderson, Santilli with the two imports there, and Sobchak and McTaggart there on the points for the Rampage. So Santilli with a shot. It's going to circle around, and Sobchak will collect it there and send it across for McTaggart there on the near point. So McTaggart now on the near point looks over for Sobchak. Sobchak with it has a peek. He's got Anderson. He'll find him. So Harley Anderson now stops, looking across, comes into the center, and that's gloved down by McMahon, and he'll be able to collect the puck and send that deep and chase into it himself. So McMahon in hard on McTaggart, forcing McTaggart to regroup there to Sobchak. He'll curl behind the net and collect some speed and skate it out and send it over to Anderson. So Anderson over the blue line now here for the Rampage. Stops on the half wall, poke check by Webster, and a great job by Webster to lift the stick. He sends that over there for Gallagher, and the Ducks are out with two. Finds Webster over the blue line, comes in, shot, but Sobchak able to deflect that into the corner, and he collects it now. So Sobchak now with speed through into the neutral zone, sends it up to McTaggart here on the left wing, controls, brings it, tries to find the forehand, sends it in front, puck's loose, in for Anderson, but glove save there by Dane Davis.
There's some great work there on the back check by Stringer, forcing that play wide. We'll get a replay of that, I hope, and we can just see how that one was snuffed out.
Yeah,
and
great save there by Davis.
Davis swallowing it up in the end with a good coverage.
That's for sure. So, Ducks doing some great work. I mean, Webster was able to get a great scoring opportunity there. Face-off there, won by the Rampage. That comes back to Connor, over to Adler. One-timer shot deflected, but into the corner. Carpenter will get there first for the Ducks, and he'll hit Smith, allowing Koenig to collect it and send that down the length of the ice. So here's Connor. He's got Jones, who's circling, but Connor will decide to skate himself. He's over the red line, curls it just around past Koenig. He's now got it on the backhand. He'll stop up. He's got Smith. Will he find him? So there's Connor. He does. At the point to Smith. He's got Jones. Over to Jones. Jones now walking back to Smith. Here on the far side, down deep for Connor. Back to Smith on the far side point. He now has it on the forehand. Walks into the center. Takes a shot, looking for the deflection by Bale, but just missed him. Adler now regroups that back for Bale, who'll walk behind the net, being chased there by Carpenter. Collected there by Vrelnik, who gets the puck, sends it through, but intercepted by Connor. Connor now, great job. Stick check there by Vrelnik, who'll curl back, make a little bit of space for himself, and look for the pass for Koenig and get it down the length of the ice. And with that, kill the rest of the penalty to Ryan Ruddle, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey.
So another very successful penalty kill by the Ducks. The Rampage just unable to even get much in the way of quality shots, and when they did get a shot on, Davis was there to kill it.
So McMahon now in his own zone, sends it off the wall, squirted out and chipped out by Ruddle. But here comes Carpenter and Cutter. Nice forecheck, forcing Durnsford to really work and curl and get some space. And he finally gets it out over to McTaggart. So McTaggart here on the left wing, he'll take that in. He'll curl, protect it onto the backhand, getting around Cutter, chips it to himself, past Bennett. He's now there, looking back, gets it back. Still McTaggart, circles it, gets it down to Anderson. So Harley Anderson, the captain, now looks in front for Bertazzi, but just out of the reach. Bennett now chips it out to Cutter, back to McTaggart, who send that far deep side for Sobchak to chase there for McMahon. McMahon regroups it though to Bennett, and Bennett intercepted by McTaggart into the slot, shot, blocked, and shot out there by the Ducks.
Ducks a little lucky to get away with that one. 10 minutes and 58 seconds to go. We'll have a face-off down in the defensive end for the Ducks. 45 shots now for the Rampage to 36 from the Ducks, but the Rampage have been unable to break through the wall of Davis. And the Ducks, as we know, have managed to get 6 through, including one on the changeover goalie of Darcy, who's had an unpleasant welcome to Ice HQ, it's fair to say.
So here's Speck out here with Santilli and Bale, and Speck will face off against Webster, who's won yet another face-off. Webster's been unreal in that department. Body laid there on McMahon. He's a little gingerly getting up, but he's a big man. He'll be fine.
Yeah,
and here comes Dixon.
On his face. I don't think he's worried by that one.
So Dixon passes it over to himself. Rampage get it out, but just hops over the stick of McMahon, and that was waved off, so there won't be an icing, forcing Hector to Vrolnik to collect and just pause up behind his own net. He drops that there for Carpenter, who then finds Ruddle, passing it over to Gallagher, who just evades the stick check of Speck, and will skate it in himself, and he's thrown in hard into the bench. Ruddle now collects it, or into the board, sorry, and finds over to Stringer. Stringer up to Vrolnik, who gets hit there by Adler and just comes offside, and isn't happy. Ruddle with a little extra hit there by Bale, and with a slash. I would wonder to see if there'll be any penalties, or if they'll just wave both of them out.
We'll see this on the replay. We'll see exactly what happened. Ruddle gets the shot in,
and then gets the slash and slashes him back.
Here's Ruddle getting the shot on that replay.
Yeah, just two slashes, one to each of them. So I think they're just saying, you know what, you each took your pound of flesh, and that's enough for me.
With 10 minutes and 14 seconds to go, 6 goals to the Ducks, 0 so far to the Rampage.
So here comes Carpenter sending the puck deep for Hector to give chase. Hector Vrolnik will get there first, just evades Durnsford in the corner. Hector Vrolnik circles behind the net. He's got Carpenter at the point, but walks it himself. Hector Vrolnik again, still with it, shot! Oh my! Darcy, what a save! Hector Vrolnik walked out of the corner, and look at Luca Darcy, man, just able to follow. So Hector comes across, push. Oh, blocker arm save. What a save, my man. That was beautiful.
Good athleticism there from the goalie. He's got to be pretty fresh and not very warmed up.
Yeah.
He's warm now.
That's why you do work on all those T-push power slides back home to those young goalies. Just for that, the 1-2 push over to follow Hector saved the amazing scoring opportunity. So here's the Rampage now getting the puck out. That was Harley Anderson looking for Josh, but with Carpenter able to get back, evades the ice, and he circles and dodges a check from Josh Anderson. That puck comes out now, and Liam Webster misses it, which allows Durnsford to collect and find Anderson. Harley Anderson now in on Carpenter. Carpenter gets there first, sends it up the half wall, but that was Sean Jones able to keep it in. Sean Jones now with the shot, blocked there by the Ducks defender. Out with Koenig, who chips it out, looking for Tashuma, but Vitasa got there first. He chips it in now, still with Jones, takes a shot off the skate of Josh Anderson, and Liam Webster picks up for the Ducks. So here come the Ducks through their assistant captain in Webster. He's over the blue line, takes a shot, saved there by Darcy into the netting.
That gets another whistle. 9 minutes left to play with that 6-0 lead. It's going to be tricky to see if the Rampage can get on the net. They'd be pretty keen to get a bit of pride out of this game. They're not going to win it, but they would love to get a couple of goals just to salvage a bit of pride.
I don't want to take anything away from the amazing game that Dane's done, but I think that last save we saw by Darcy is probably the save of the match so far.
Yeah, be right up there with that blocker save in the first that Davis pulled off as well. So those two both incredibly athletic, and to be fair, a little bit of luck.
Yeah,
but, you need that.
As I said, I mean, the thing about Davis is, no knock against him, but he just makes it look so easy. He's just all positional. He's a positional goalie. It shows you don't have to be super acrobatic, right? If you just make sure that, you're in the right place and knock it down and prevent the rebounds, which he's so good at. So here come the Rampage through McTaggart over the blue line. He's going to circle, drop it for Smith. Smith with a shot, and another save there by Davis.
Goalie in the right place, making it look easy.
Yeah.
When it's not, but he's just there all the time.
What's that, 45 straight saves for the big man?
Yep.
Not
so
bad.
Far, 46, I think.
46?
So he's having a good day. But again, they're coming in at relatively easy angles, most of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple absolute blinders he's made on a couple of the one-timers, but Ducks have done a decent job of forcing the Rampage outside today. Very similar to kind of what we saw yesterday of the Rampage, of what they were doing to the Ducks, if that makes sense. So. Yep. Here's McMahon now behind his own net. He's just going to allow his forwards just to regroup and look for a breakout. Sobchak will force him out, and he'll now send that on the wall and out. But Adler will collect it for the Rampage. He'll send that over to McTaggart. McTaggart finds Sobchak, but intercepted there by McMahon, and the puck just hit the glove there, I believe, of
just bobbled into the bench.
Gallagher. And because of that, we'll have a face-off in the Duck zone.
So we've got about 8 minutes to play. And you've got to say that this game, it hasn't been all Ducks by any stretch of the imagination. The scoreboard doesn't reflect the way the game has been. But it certainly has been a much better display from them today than it was yesterday when the Rampage made them look a bit silly in that first 10 minutes. I know they took 2 periods just to kind of get their heads around the game.
So Liam Webster loses the face-off. I haven't said that today, I don't think. The Rampage, the Rampage collected. So here's Logan Gallagher, though, for the Ducks, getting it out. He sends it over to Ruddle, who just lifts the stick of Bale, allowing Carpenter to collect it. Ruddle over the blue line, winds up, takes a shot into the chest there of Luca Darcy there for the Rampage in net.
So I don't know if you've done a lot of face-offs, Gossy, but a lot of it's about being really alert. It's not a reflex thing, it's a reaction thing and trained reactions. And as you get tired, of course, it starts to slow down a bit. And so he'd be pretty tired, Webster.
It makes a huge difference, just the slight second, right?
Yep.
Not even millisecond, right, of who gets their stick there first.
Exactly. It's such a fine thing.
Yeah, so the face-off there was won by the Ducks, and they've got some sustained pressure here. Out with it there is Liam Webster now into the corner. He curls. He's got Gallagher with him, but he finds it back to Bennett. Bennett winds up, takes a shot off a skate into the slot area, but the Rampage not able to get it. Oh! And that's Bennett hit hard by Speck, but he gets up, and if you took a look there, he had a little peek of who that was that hit him. So I'll be interested to see if he... I
think he'll remember it.
He'll remember that, you know. So Rampage get the puck deep, and Dane Davis collects it and finds Gallagher. So here we go, catching the Rampage on a change. Gallagher over on the right side takes a shot off the stick of the Rampage defender into the...
it was Dane Davis looking for an assist.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a point. There was actually a goal in a college game, I think it was, or one of the minor leagues over in the US, where a goalie did score when the other team had dropped their goalie, and he's just got a clearance and hooked it all the way down the other end, and the goalie actually scored a goal. It's pretty rare, but it does happen.
Oh, it's happened a few times, even in the NHL.
Yep.
I think we've seen a few. I mean, I know Pekka Rinne, I think he got one last year. Brodeur's had a few. We had one as well, the Springfield Thunder, recently this year in the AHL.
Yeah, I think that was the one, actually.
We saw the goalie goal, a playoff goalie goal as well, which makes it even more interesting. We've got a little thing going around here at the rink, seeing who's going to get the first goalie goal in beer league. So I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. But here are the Dogs now. Shot. Sorry, not the Dogs. The Ducks now with a shot. Stringer again sends that wide, and Adler collects it and sends that far into the corner. So Byron Tashuma now circles it around for Vrelnik. He leaves that for McMahon. McMahon just mishandled that one, but was able to correct himself and get that deep. And the puck comes out now for Stringer. So Stringer up to Tashuma. Great job there by Anderson. But the Rampage really again have not been able to get any real crazy sustained pressure.
I think in this last 6 minutes, the last 5 minutes, the referee takes a tumble as well. The intensity's just dropped completely out of their game. It's almost like they're going through the motions now.
For sure. Well, there, a nice interception there by Cutter. Cutter looks across for Webster. Webster in front. Ooh, looking for Dixon, but wasn't able to get a stick on it. That's Josh Anderson. Get to the point only as far as Leo. And that's Durnsford now collecting in the point. Sends it up. Leo keeps it in. Sends the shot into the far corner. The Rampage will get there first through Jones, but he's getting chased there hard by Cutter. That gets reversed over to Anderson. Anderson for the Rampage was looking for Bertassa, but just fans on it, allowing Dixon to send that back to Leo, who will go D to D over to Carpenter, and Carpenter now will collect, have a peek, and send that over to Webster. Just out of the reach, and that's Bertassa now up to Jones. Finds McTaggart, so here's McTaggart with space, comes in, shot! What a save with the glove by Dane Davis. Oh man, what do the Rampage have to do to score today? Jeez.
That was in by all money, but Davis was there.
There we go, Dane Davis. So here the Rampage now with Smith. He's got the puck, sends it off the wall for Sobchak, who chips it up there for McTaggart. McTaggart again now with the shot, and hits that wide, and that'll go down the length of the ice, and Webster will peel off for a change. So here come the Rampage. They're desperate for a goal, but they still can't find an answer to the old man Dane Davis there.
They've got McTaggart floating right down on the blue line in the offensive zone, looking for that stretch pass.
There we are. So we've got Sobchak sending that deep. Dane will come out himself. I mean, he's been able to stop the puck. Maybe he can score. McTaggart, ho-ho! Trying to catch Dane out of the net, but he does a great poke check into the netting, and we'll have a face-off there to the right.
Yeah, at this point, if you were playing for the Rampage, you would absolutely saying, what do we have to do to score?
Yeah.
46 shots.
Look at this glove save.
And some have been pretty good.
Point blank, Dane Davis. And that's a great shot. Oh. I love watching goalies play the puck. Just so beautiful. He looks great in those pads, too. Absolutely love him. So here we go. So McMahon reverses that over to Bennett. Bennett now here sends the puck looking for Vrelnik, but that's intercepted by Adler. Adler now regroups that over to Bale, and it's in his skates, allowing Ruddle to hit him. But here comes Speck. So Speck now there. loses the puck to McMahon, who chips that high off the glass into the neutral zone, forcing the Rampage to regroup. So Rampage finds to Santilli. Santilli back over to Adler, but misses him, which allows the Ducks to begin the forecheck, being led there by Logan Gallagher. So the Rampage will get the puck only to the neutral zone. Stringer will collect that, makes a nice little fake pass, and then finally gets it through to Vrelnik. Vrelnik gets it back to Bennett. Bennett now has a peek, sends it over to Gallagher, just misses him, and Adler comes up for the hit, but Stringer's there to provide support. So Stringer now looking in the middle for Ruddle. Santilli forechecking, but Gallagher gets it for the Ducks. So the Ducks just, being patient here, trying to make sure they can get into the zone. That was Vrelnik with a 1-2 with Ruddle. Back to Vrelnik. Vrelnik with a backhand, but into the glove of Luca Darcy.
And 3 minutes and 47 seconds now left to play. It's all Ducks at the moment. There's been the occasional one of those fast breaks. We saw one earlier with Matagat, but the rest of the play has been all Ducks. I think it's safe to say that they're going to take this one for the last bit at a reasonable canter. There's just all the intensity's gone from the Rampage across the board.
Well, this is what Pat McMahon would have wanted after the performance yesterday, especially at the start, that kind of first 7 or 8 minutes.
Yep,
the Ducks came out from the beginning and just haven't stopped. They've been absolutely relentless, and this is the Ducks hockey which we've been accustomed to watching so far. But here's Anderson now. Josh Anderson shot, saved by Dane Davis. I don't know what they're going to have to do to beat him today.
That's 48 shots on him so far.
So here's Stringer now going the other way. Stringer in on Jones. Stringer gets it in front. Oh, Koenig just not able to push that there into the short side. Puck squirts out there for Webster. Then Stringer gets it to Webster. Back to Carpenter. Carpenter back to Stringer. Stringer looking for Tashuma, but deflected there by Jones, allowing Bertosa to collect. So here's Durnsford for the Rampage. Looking for Anderson. Just misses him, and Carpenter collects in his own zone. So Carpenter now out to Webster, who looked in the front, but only found Josh Anderson, who sent that deep. So it's deep in the Duck zone now, but not much pressure to allow them to skate it out through Koenig, who finds Webster. So Webster in the neutral zone now, here on the right wing, drops it for Tashuma. Tashuma now back to Webster. Webster shot, puck's loose. Oh, and Koenig was just not able to snuff it. But here we go. So here comes Sobchak. There's 3 Brisbane Rampage. Sobchak into the slot, winds, shot, save again by Dane Davis. But it comes back to Sobchak. So Sobchak now twisting, turning, still with the puck, sends it in front, deflected. Another one is deflected again, shot, and there it is! The Brisbane Rampage finally find an answer for Dane Davis, and that's Sean Jones on the rebound, potting it home to make the game 6-1.
Shot number 50,
yeah.
If you want the numbers. So the 50th shot on for Dane Davis, and finally they get one in. Just that speed. They had that 3-on-2 break, and you got to think when you got a 3-on-2 with those players of that calibre, that it's going to go in somehow. But the Ducks managed to stop the first bit, but there was a dirty rebound.
Yeah.
For
you take a look at that. So he made the first save, then McTaggart went for the second, just went off the blocker, came out in front, and I don't think Dane. By the time Dane knew where the puck was, it was too late. If he knew where it was, he would have stopped that one. So here we go, 6-1 hockey game. A little bit of pride for the Rampage, but with 2 minutes remaining, I find it very hard to believe if it will really change the result of the game. But here's Sobchak over to McTaggart. McTaggart back to Sobchak. Sobchak now winds, walks, finds it over to McTaggart. So these two, they still want to get points on. And here's Sobchak winding up, blocked there by Dixon. Over to McTaggart, and with Connor kind of riding in there to Dane Davis in the crease. We've just got a whistle going for a violation there with the netminder, and that'll come outside.
See what happened here. So Davis gave Connor a bit of a shove. Get out of my crease.
Yeah.
Will we see a Duck sitting the penalty?
No, it's just there. Nope. The call is the kind of in the crease, just kind of standing in the crease, interfering with the goalie. It's not like goaltender interference as a penalty, but still like a goaltender interference kind of play. You're not allowed to just stand there and prevent the goalie from making a save. Oh, nice hit there by Dixon there on Smith, and the puck comes back behind the net for Dane Davis. Carpenter, little fake pass to himself, gets that down the length of the ice, and that's going to get waved off there with Bertosa able to get back for the Rampage. He'll curl back, is being watched by Dixon. Puck comes out, Vrelnik shot! Oh, and Darcy was all the way out challenging him, but Vrelnik wasn't able to put that in the back of the net. So here come the Rampage now with McTaggart finding Sobchak. Sobchak with speed over the blue line, trying to walk through Carpenter, but he does a great job of forcing that puck into the corner and gets there first. Carpenter thrown down, and with the puck underneath them both, whistle will go.
So we'll get what could possibly be the last face-off of the game. There's 1 minute and 1 second to play. Can the Rampage stick another one in the net, or can the Ducks hold them out?
So I can say it now, but it's a shame Dane didn't get the shutout. I mean, he played absolutely lights out and stopped 50 straight shots or 49 straight shots prior to that one going in. But he just tonight did such a great job with his positioning, just making that position look easy, which it's not. It's not easy.
Oh, absolutely. 45 seconds now to play.
There we are. So the Ducks have the puck deep through Webster, circles it back, and we get a little bit of physicality going there with Bertassa and Durnsford laying the body on Webster. So here comes Jones, the goal scorer for the Rampage. He's going to throw that in. Glove save there by Dane, and he's just going to do the old hand over the puck and just wait and then cover it, right? Just kill a couple more seconds off the clock.
So 25 seconds now to play. This will be the last, almost definitely the last face-off of the game.
Yeah, if you keep saying that, there's going to be more. There's going to be more whistles, right? So,
I don't think that we have that level of superstition here.
Yeah. So Josh Anderson facing off against Webster. McMahon now collects it for the Ducks, and he sends that high, but blocked down by Anderson, who's battling hard there. So the Rampage getting support. Adler pinches, gets the puck deep, and Anderson now collects it. Comes up there. So Anderson wasn't able to find the puck. Koenig looks up to McMahon, and McMahon will skate in and chip the puck deep himself. And with 4 seconds remaining, Connor will take that behind his own net and just kill the time. And we've got a W. And look at the fans; those kids are running and cheering. It's a 6-1 hockey game for the Melbourne Ducks, and they maintain their status there as the #1 team here in the Pacific League, the Pacific Hockey League.
Well, it was an interesting game, Anton. I think certainly early on it was all Ducks, and then the Rampage got back into the flow of it after about the first 10 to 15 minutes, and almost a mirror image of yesterday's game, where the Ducks were well and truly on their back foot for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I watch these handshakes, because they're going to say to Dane, "Great game. Great game. How did you do it?" They couldn't find it. I mean, they found an answer late, but it was too little, too late. Dane was absolutely outstanding. Ryan Ruddle as well, 4 goals. Hello, can we play the Brisbane Rampage every game? That's what he'd be saying, right? Because he seems to have an answer. Hector Vrolnek, we welcomed him back, right? He had I think 4 assists tonight, and Byron Tashuma as well. He had a couple assists. Great inclusion from yesterday. So all eyes will be kind of on Hayden Dawes. We'll be seeing if he can get back up and going for next week's game, and whether or not we see Troy Robertson as well. But this Ducks team showed their resilience. A short bench, 12 skaters. They took it to the Brisbane Rampage and really avenged that loss from yesterday.
I think we've got to give a lot of credit to Sobchak for yesterday's game, and McTaggart too. Those two players for the Rampage, the primary goal scorers, and you can see why. And they played really, really well today. They got lots of opportunities. They created lots of space. And Sobchak, every time he gets the puck, he's just a magician at developing space and time. So I don't think the scoreboard necessarily reflects how the game went. No. You get that sometimes. Yesterday, again, same deal. It was kind of almost the other way around. But it was a very good display by Brisbane, and the scoreboard doesn't reflect how close the game really was in terms of shots on. We saw like 51 shots or 50 shots, 52 shots for the Rampage to 43 for the Ducks, so they were outshot. But this time the Ducks had the slot. Yeah. This time they were getting those dirty pucks. They weren't getting isolated in attack. They were getting continuous flow, and towards the end, it was almost a procession.
Look, I think
Rampage had almost given up.
You mentioned it, right? And the Brisbane Rampage, they're very fortunate. They got 2 of the most talented skaters in the league, right? In Sobchak and McTaggart. But yesterday they had a little bit of support. Yep. Whereas tonight it just seemed like the Ducks were able to neutralize anyone else really. And the only opportunities that came were kind of off the rush between those 2 players. And when you're playing against a team like that, I mean, if you compare it to like the NHL, they always say that with the Leafs. You just got to cover Marner and Matthews, right? Yep. And that happened tonight, and the Ducks were victorious. And really,
you do say that like it's an easy thing, though.
No, yeah, of course, of course.
Just cover them. Those two guys are very difficult to cover, and even today when the Ducks were dominant in terms of play, those two guys were still creating some incredible opportunities and getting some really, really good shots on. And you also, like with Davis, you need a goalie to be like successful at this level who can do magic.
Yeah.
It's not enough to get the routine saves that you're expected to do. You've just got to pull out the magic sometime. And we saw with that early blocker save that he pulled off, it was a high blocker side that was into all money, but he managed to shut it down somehow. And that was a game-winning save, and it doesn't look like it now with the statistics. But in terms of momentum, that's one of those things. The forward thinks, what on earth have I got to do to try and score a goal here? This guy is just impenetrable.
Well, prime example, like Sobchak was averaging 3.5 points a game.
Yep.
The guy got 1 tonight.
Yep.
Right? Yep. Ducks able to kind of close that down. Super, super important. But Dane, I mean, the guy, as I said, he's just such a great positional goal. I mean, firstly, he's a big guy.
Yep.
He's a big boy, right? So he takes up a lot of that space, but he's not frantic. He just, does what he needs to do to be in the right place and let the puck hit him. I can't stress that enough for young goalies who are listening. Like, sometimes all you need to do is let the puck hit you. Be in the right place. It was kind of that style that was made very popular by J.S. Jagier when he was coming up there with, I think he won the Conn Smythe in a losing Stanley Cup final there against the Devils back with the Anaheim Ducks. But he was one of those big goalies, just got in the way and let the puck hit him. And Dane Davis, as I said, he makes it look easy, but it's not, right? It's not stopping some of these guys. So, look, exciting again. The Ducks got checked yesterday, right? They got brought back down, reminded that
you could use an avial pun. Their wings clipped.
Yeah, but tonight, I mean, they came with an answer, and going in next week, we've got the coast coming down to Melbourne, so that'll be now 1v4.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see if the coast can have an answer. Now they're coming off a series there with Adelaide where we talked about before. They've got one hell of a goalie. He made 61 saves last night.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to see what they have to perform for the Ducks. But so far, 4 rounds in, you can say that the Ducks are definitely flying high.
Yep,
right?
they certainly are. And we're about to, I think, looks like we've almost got our interview coming up now post game. Ross Fisher just waiting to grab one of the celebrating Ducks. And get a few pearls of wisdom.
So it would be hard to pick anyone out of that dressing room because those guys, they went to battle. They went to battle with one another, and they just want to celebrate.
Ryan Bennett, to be honest. I think he'd have some interesting things to say. He is very heavily involved in the dominant battle around the goal mouth and establishing that mental dominance of the game.
It started before the game, right? He was the one stretching there on the red line, chirping a couple of the guys, saying, just remember, we know what number you are.
Yeah.
And then, he stood up when Anderson, was throwing the body around, and he challenged him. Anderson decided that he wasn't ready to kind of, drop the mitts, and probably a good decision. He probably would have got his face pummeled by.
There's also a couple of things. If I was Pat McMahon, I'd still be a little bit concerned about the Ducks. Typically, for the first game they've played, for every round, they've been slow off the mark. Now, they got away with that now, but they can't continue to get away with that.
So we've got the big Dane Davis, the goalie who makes it all look easy, and that'll be who Ross will be interviewing here. So let's cut to Ross and our all-star goaltender and Dane Davis.
All right, here we are with Dane Davis. Dana, it's a goalie's perfect game to get that shutout, and just at that little bit of time left, and they snuck one in on you. Is that you a bit dirty on the players about that one?
I wouldn't say it's so much the players. Actually, it's our assistant coach, Mersey. He said in between the second and third, Dana, isn't this the first league shutout? Not realizing we had another period to play. So I'll blame him, and I'll see him on Tuesday, and we'll make sure it's put right. Huh?
So from a team point of view, it was a good bounce back from probably a disappointing game yesterday for the whole team.
Absolutely. I think during the season, we need these reality checks. We need to know that where our strengths are and our weaknesses are, and I think it proves how strong of a team we are by responding today the way we did. The guys found our stride, and while it was a low-scoring game, it wasn't just me. The guys played both ways and made it easy. So
looked a lot more structured, a bit more guys going out playing the Ducks way versus yesterday, where they seemed to jump on us early and then we were sort of clambering back into the game.
Well, exactly right. I mean, our game is dictating the play, and by playing both ends of the ice and controlling the puck and making those first passes, it made our life easier. So, yeah.
All right, great jump back into a win today and onward next season for the next week for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Thanks, Danny.
All right, so thank you, Ross. And Dane Davis, there are words from the man himself, the goalkeeper who, there's that little bit of superstition, blaming the assistant coach for saying the word that shall not be spoken, of course, being shut out.
There was a number of times I was going to say it, but I was like, I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to be the one. And then when he let in that one, it's unfortunate. But
someone always says it somewhere.
I'm sure they'll have some tongue-in-cheek there on Tuesday practice
and
here.
I can guarantee too that there'll be people all around the country watching this saying, I thought he was going to get a shutout, and maybe it was them too, so who knows.
Yeah.
But that's just a superstition, and the reality is that the puck bounces whichever way it will, and sometimes it goes the way you want, sometimes it don't. So next week, the Ducks are here against the Coast. The Coast, as you were saying, Anton, they haven't won a game yet, but they have been improving their last game against the Avalanche. I haven't seen the results from their game today, but yesterday they went to a shootout and just went down in that one, so much closer tussle from them than we've seen in their previous games. So obviously they're on the improve, and we'll be delighted to have them here, and we will give them a warm Melbourne welcome here at Ice HQ when we play them on Saturday and Sunday, June the 18th and June the 19th at 5:45 on Saturday and at 3:30 on Sunday, so that you can come here for the matinee session in the afternoon if you like on the Sunday, but the big game Saturday, and then afterwards off to the Moondog to meet your favourite Duck. The Coast will be desperate for win. The Ducks are looking to pile on more points. The Rampage play next at the Ice Arena in Adelaide next weekend, and that'll be a scorcher. Look for the Rampage will be pretty keen to make amends for today, where I think they'd be pretty disappointed with today's performance, especially after yesterday when they played so well, and that first 10 minutes where they just blew the Ducks to pieces and they never caught up. But today was a different game. More details, of course, for the games coming up on the Ducks webpage, and also pacifichockeyleague.com.au for all of the results and standings, and also on pacific.hockeysite.com, which is where all the statistics and so forth are, so you can get the stats before we give them to you, all the relevant social media pages as well. Big thank you to Brandon from Spacequake Productions and all the camera crews who've done such a great job today. Ice HQ team, especially Ross and Carrie Fisher, Ryan Soupy Hines, who keeping all of the draws done, Phil Trin, who does all of our production values and little magic around the rink, our referees, Ice Techs, and our small army of volunteer helpers who make everything happen here. They're unsung, but they're absolute heroes in order to be able to present this. And also a huge thank you to everyone who's listened in. We love doing what we're doing. Anton and I are having the time of our lives. We hope that it shows, and we hope we're giving you guys who are listening in to us as much of informative and entertaining time as we can give you. And I don't know who won the squirt drinking game today, but someone will have. I'm sure we'll see that on some social media at some point or other. It's a challenging thing not to say it when you've been told, isn't it, Gozzy?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. But we're so excited to be able to do this, and we're having the time of our lives being involved in the Pacific Hockey League. So, from Anton and myself, thank you for watching, and we're with you when the Melbourne Ducks take on the Coast next weekend here at Ice HQ. Bring it on.